I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun.
Magandang umaga, mayang buntag, masanting abak.
What's poppin'?
Hey, look, I'm actually lighter skinned today.
Because you're lighter
No,
shade of pale
I've
because of
been,
us being sick, and you've
yeah,
been down longer than I have.
yeah, but last live I was really reddish. I didn't realize, I kept staring at myself like, why am I so red?
Fever.
I'm still under the weather, but I'm not as bad off.
Yeah. So what I did is I've been much better the last day. We had to skip a meeting with our YouTube manager yesterday because we both were technically still in bed, which sounds like a dream. Get your
No,
minds out of the
no,
gutter.
I actually like crawled out of bed. I mean, literally, and went downstairs and laid here, right here, like this. And I told Heidi, I said, I'm gonna go back upstairs, and I'll be down when right before she arrives. And then Heidi's like, "Do you want me to cancel it?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we released the Dunkin' Donut video. Check it out, guys. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe and don't forget the thumbs up on this, guys. If you haven't become a member of Philippine Antics, check it out because we have different levels of membership. Show your support. There's a bunch of videos, a bunch of our old photos. Everything's in there. Get to know us better. But we released the Dunkin' Donut video, which was footage, I believe, from last week. And then we released where we put an outfit on the puppy. I dug that up out of the archives, the frog one. So I thought I would release something yesterday. Today, we're kind of allowing the room to build up. Hello to our returning members. Big shout out to Sarah, Chosen One, Scott in the World as I See It. Bruce Davis is in the house. I might be missing somebody right here. Sarah said hello to Harry. I was looking to see. I didn't see. Is Harry in the house, or is she
Yeah.
just saying hi to him? Who else? Racer X is in the house.
Hey guys.
And so today we will get into it probably literally, and I will drop a link for people to join because this is about the haters, the trolls, the legend vloggers, the ones that are a legend in their mind. We have a few of those too that like it's really a unified situation, like from the people that watch him and other vloggers. It's like they think they're a legend, don't they? And it's like, okay, just let them be a legend in their own mind. They're not hurting anybody. Then you have people like us and Mike's Philippine Journey that put out like hard truths. And those are the ones that are hit the hardest. And the reason this came up is two things. One, we had an actual threat because of past guests, and they said that our channel is becoming more toxic.
Well, we'll give you more details later on, of course.
Yeah, we're going to give you more. I'm just giving them a roll on what we're actually going to do. And the other would be, so they made a threat to us. This is nothing new. We receive love mail like that all the time, messages. As a matter of fact, we've had a steady 2 trolls that have made threats. They talk about our family members. They're going to roll by our house and do something and find us. And here it is. Still ain't got me. Still ain't got George. So obviously they're not looking hard enough. But what it is also is this isn't new in the YouTube world or the media industry. Me and George was talking about this. We don't consider ourselves legends, nor do we think that we're actually big. It's sometimes we put out things that are true. We touch on other things that we actually see. We do talk about other vloggers because they're expats here. And if you put your information out there, somebody's going to cover it. And I'm surprised people haven't covered more stuff on us when we're fighting. I'm surprised when the Campbells do something, people are covering it. When Mark Thornton does something, everybody's covering it. So everybody is watching. There are some channels, like I just seen, there's somebody totally dedicated, another channel to a farmer in the Philippines. There's like 4 or
Brian?
5 channels that are dedicated to
Yeah.
focusing their
They-
whole time.
Yeah,
like,
they have dedicated Brian channel, anti-Brian channels.
and I'm like, but they actually focused in something about, he said he had a big farm, but here he is on the back of his truck selling watermelons, or they were showing some fruit. And I'm like, okay. So, we're going to dedicate an entire channel probably to MT, Mark Thornton, and his Beanie Bear collection, because we mentioned that about a week ago, and it looks like it's a thing going around. The man opened up another box, and he actually mentioned it on air, the haters, about his Beanie Bears. I was like, okay. So I ain't hating. We know that you was a Home Shopping Network fan, and you bought all those off there. I took the order myself from Mark. He was the first one in line to buy the Princess Diane, the Beanie Bear, at $400. Who's he kidding that he bought that at a
yes,
discount?
now the
Now the real
the
dirty secrets.
Diane Beanie Bear, like $400, so now has increased in value to $40.
Yeah, somebody said that Mark, the same as the cruise ship, has made another wise investment.
Now be aware that, okay, just real quick background on Beanie Bears. Beanie Bears back then were valuable and considered rare. I put air quotes.
I worked in the 90s
because
at HSN when they sold
due
them.
to the advent of internet, everybody realized, oh, these aren't rare at all.
Right, yeah, because there was no...
So prices went...
No, not everybody had computers to do all that. They just started in 96. They started doing the online shopping through Home Shopping. I remember when they created the site and everything. But anyway, so there's nothing new about the vloggers that actually cover different things and cover each other. So I don't know if you guys know Soft White Underbelly. Me and George have seen interviews. It's a gentleman, and I believe his wife is involved or something.
Right. This is actually related to the topic.
It is, because this guy for years has done interviews of everything from John, or I said Johns, I guess that's it, pimps and prostitutes, to homeless, to drug addicts, to trans, to everything. And they're great interviews. Okay. Everybody's been fine until they start covering the Whitakers, the West Virginia hillbillies. And I'm just going to call it out as it is. That's what they're called. They're an inbred family. clearly stated in his titles. Now, I want to let you know the man has made a killing, which will bring me around to Paul here in a little bit. Old dog, new tricks, because there was a lot of hate on him too. So he's opened up a GoFundMe page to help get them a house, like their house is falling apart and everything. And I guess there was one other channel that went against him. And I'm not going to mention the other channels. And now, mind you, these are Underbelly, I believe, has 4 or 5 million subscribers. This other person has about 5 million subscribers. Then all the others got in line to talk about this other main channel that did the interviews. So it looks like over time there was 70, 80,000 US dollars sent to a GoFundMe. They slowly paid out this family. They wrecked a car. He sent him money. He sent him living expenses, and the money was meant for a house. But he says, "Who am I to hold the money?" So he's been leaking the money to him over time. Well, they keep asking and asking. Allegedly, there's a contract, and he didn't account for the money, and it became a problem. Hence, why we say, as a YouTuber, if you guys to become collecting big funds and setting up GoFundMe for a specific thing, like Expat John, or like this guy did for this family, because it requires all kinds of things. You got to set up for permits, you got to pay taxes, and he did say that. He says, I still have to pay the taxes on that amount. They're not. If I wire 6,000 over, it's him. The money was put into the GoFundMe with his name. You're responsible for the taxes, and that's the same with Paul, Old Dog New Tricks, on collecting all that money for John. There was all kinds of money brought through his PayPal. People sent him money through stickers, and I don't have the full story, but as I'm to understand through other sources, allegedly, that became a big problem for Paul. People were supposedly reporting him. He had some problems, although he didn't speak a whole lot about it. And I think there was even possibly some tension between John, the wife, the same with the
Oh
Whitakers
well,
right now.
I knew that would arise. Actually,
Yeah, because
I actually told Heidi. I said when right before Expat John started up, I said Paul's gonna have problems with this guy, because it's it's a domino effect. Once you start something, something's gonna happen in the very end. And what I'm getting at is same thing as what Heidi's talking about. She's talking about this family. When she showed me these videos a long time ago, we've been watching these people a long
yeah,
time ago.
yeah.
And the first time I saw him, the first video, like probably about 30 seconds in the video, my mind like this guy's exploiting these guys.
Yeah,
The YouTuber,
soft white underbelly.
right?
He kind of does. Usually, he does like this black and white screen to give a
Correct.
dramatic. And was when he started out. It's not bad interviews. It kind of catches you, but the guy's got like 5, 6 million subscribers. So all these other vloggers got in line to talk about, hey, he's keeping the money. He's not being truthful about it. Then the guy came out and explained himself. Then I've seen about 10 other vloggers that all come up to the right. So let's say you're looking at Mark Thornton, guys, or whatever you're looking at, that you're going to see all the people that are covering Mark Thornton. They're using tags and all of that. So if you guys have any question about YouTube, just let
Yeah.
us know. But
Now to clarify, when Heidi's saying black and white, he
oh, I wasn't. Sorry.
no.
Oh, well,
No.
you're going to make me lose my train of thought. I was trying to get to others are covering it. So
Right.
there are others covering the topic. All of them are getting on board. People with 100,000 subscribers, 40,000 subscribers, because we hear and other ones hear that, why is this person covering it? Why is this person? Because it's part of YouTube. And here it's part of the expat world. Then you got the haters, the lovers, the ones with knowledge. People send us photos and videos all the time. They drop a lot of information about other vloggers, but we rarely use it. Believe me, we could sit here probably for about 3 months and cover things that people allegedly know, but we try to actually get facts on it. But allegedly, real quick before you go on about that, supposedly this guy has almost 90 million views on this family, and he supposedly has an actual contract with them that he's the only vlogger allowed to cover him. Well, didn't happen because somebody rolled up on the family, brought him food, the one that was complaining or, putting out the information. I can't say complain, but he sounds like he was wanting to find more out and get to the money. And so he went over there and took all this stuff. But so now it's a battle. It's like a battleground now. Everybody's coming out and all these guys, women, but all of them through YouTube, including our YouTube manager, they say, do what's popular, cover the person that's popular, cover, in our realm. She said, you're in the Philippines, there's other vloggers. If that's what everybody's covering, then we're going to cover it. Everybody is welcome on this channel to join up inside of our panel, because I'm going to put the link up here in a little bit. Unless you break YouTube guidelines, some channels don't mind it, and that's their channels. I'm not even going to, say that it's not. We can mention some of the channels, but several have done panels, aka Mike's Philippine Journey, Sunshine Shoulders, Andy Omar, Our Philippine Journey. Some of these others have brought people. Sorry, I hit the table. Have brought people on their channel. What they do and what we do could be totally something different. On here, we're going to try to follow YouTube guidelines. Our YouTube manager watches this, and so we don't want her to go in and do something. They have other people watching the channel. We've never hid that we had a YouTube manager. As a matter of fact, we have brought audio, which or things to prove that we have our manager. So there's been people saying we don't, but we do, and we don't have to go through all that. But we will follow the guidelines. The reason we didn't have the last person, the Perez guy, and then he came in during the live stream and he changed his name, is because he was making nasty remarks and comments in the actual comments. We're still not going to let you on.
Well, John, again, the reason why you didn't get back on, because I checked several times in the private chat to see if you'd be more
well, you called him John.
Be more civil.
That was the Perez. He had another name. It wasn't John that day.
Well,
he switched it to several names.
Well, John is the most common one that I think that's what MYK addressed him to as. But anyway,
if he's talking about John, he's talking about British expat.
No. We're talking about Perez
because they've been going back.
Okay, forth. But either way, John, I checked back on the private chat several times to see if everything became civilized in the private chat, and it didn't. And
no, and then,
that's why I didn't switch you back on.
We don't even mind the synthetic voices, so a lot of people didn't like Go Bobo, as long as it's respectful.
But unfortunately,
what? I said it was okay on synthetic. We had that full topic that right now, as long as the person, we said we don't know if that's the P herself. We don't know if that's Mark Thornton. We don't know who's spilling the beans. So right now, I'll take a synthetic voice if that is their voice and they want their anonymity. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
Anonymity.
Then I don't mind, because sometimes this information will actually come forward. But we have our limits if they come on and they're throwing nasty, and they're cussing.
Yeah. Now, back to, again.
Or they drop super personal information. So if somebody comes in and screams a social security number and a full address, we can't have that either. That's a YouTube violation.
we don't usually do most of that stuff. We don't put this stuff up. Okay, back to, again.
Yeah, sorry.
The channel you're looking for is called Soft White Underbelly. Now, the reason why I'm clarifying this is because, one, when Heidi says, remember she said earlier, black and white, that's the most common format he follows, and it's very good. It's cinematic, it's journalistic, it's a very good angle. I'm not talking about physical angle, I'm talking about like how he presents the individual. Those are good. Mm-hmm. Now, when he switches over to the Whitaker family, it becomes borderline, or if not passing over the borderline of exploitation. Quite honestly, I didn't even think it was the same guy. I mean, I was like, wait a minute.
Well, what? And he did it for a while. He got 90 million.
Right, it's an ongoing thing. Right. Now,
and he's doing a documentary, according to him.
To make it worse, I mean, I get it. I understand a lot of things, and I understand that regardless of mental faculties, a contract is a contract. However, be aware that doesn't make you a better person when you try to force a contract on somebody who's not quite all there. If that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. If you guys didn't know, per 1,000, YouTube will pay out, or AdSense, if you're following the rules, plus a size of a channel that says 1 million, subscribers, they've got other sponsorships. So he's getting other money on the side. But if he follows the YouTube AdSense rules, then you can average $2 to about $20. Now, I'm just going to let you know right now, some vloggers are claiming they're getting the $20 amount. I believe Brian, Philly in the Philippines, said he was getting a $20 amount at some point. That's a lot, but it is a possibility depending on how long the videos are viewed, how short of a view it is, how long they are altogether. There's a reason it pays that type, or what commercials are being played. But usually that goes to people with 1 million subscribers, maybe a channel like the P that's got 200. What has she got now? 260. So there are level of channels like micro channels, mid range. There's different levels of YouTube channel. This guy at that kind of money, and they figured the least he made on all of that was 200,000, or I think they said 189. But this guy's not making $2 RPM. We make up to 5 sometimes. So I'm not believing when one of his videos had 50 million views that he got a $2 RPM on that. So the guy probably, my guesstimate, made at least $1 million off the family, because at $5 and 10, that's what he would have got, is 1.5 million or something. I'm going to go on the 1 million range. It would be the same with a lot of people are trying to guess with Paul, Old Dog New Tricks. We watch him. There's some things I don't agree with him. Some of the things he said. I was there in the beginning when he first started out, and some of the things he said. Now he does more of a expat help, but in the beginning there were a lot of things that he was doing that I thought was kind of off. But he's a great vlogger. It's the same with Sunshine. There's a lot of things I don't agree, but then disagree with them. But that I do like. It's just the way he puts out stuff. But on the on that, it was said he made, and that was Go Go Bobo, 100,000. I don't know if it was that much, but if you go by an RPM and the numbers he made off of Expat John plus the PayPal, yeah, 200,000, 200,000 US, which he's probably laughing. We know we have a bunch of vloggers that won't admit they're in our room, but we know they're in our room all the time. So just by estimate, it was over 1 million views for Expat John by himself. And those videos pay out, plus the PayPal and all that. So then people will question, like, you think he's paying his taxes? Do you think he paid it all back to the US? Did he do this? Did he do that? And all that. There's been channels that have been shut down due to tax issues and all that. But they definitely made money under White Belly, and certain views do pay out.
Okay, now on Expat John, just real quick. I want to clarify something. And what I mean by that is the reason why the moment I saw the Expat John video, I said Old Dog's gonna be in trouble. Not because of legalities, not because of him. I said it's because of Expat John himself. The reason why I said that is because the problem is most people think, first off, when they look on the internet, they think whatever they see on the internet is real. And that's the thing I tell you, guys, what I tell you the most, don't believe everything you see on the internet, especially statistics. Actually, last time somebody on the live questioned, like, statistics, those are never accurate. No, they're not. They're
No.
not.
And they try to say what
And
people
I can
think, it's
go
not
on
real.
and on why statistics are not accurate. It doesn't matter how official they are. But point is, that's not what it's about. And it doesn't matter what I say. You'll believe whatever the internet tells you anyway.
That,
But
or whatever
right.
everybody's putting out.
But here's the thing. The problem is human nature. And what I'm getting at is Paul will get in trouble because of John himself, because here's the problem. John will think, for example, if somebody, okay, let's say Expat John is sitting there, and I'm sure he did. He watched his live streams where Old Dog was talking about John himself, right? He's like, oh, okay, money's coming in, money's coming in. And he sees these numbers pop up on the screen. He thinks that all of that money is John's money in John's head. That's not how it works. Same thing as when he sees that clicker. I'm talking about the view count. Let's say he reached 2 million and he gets his calculator, and then according to the internet, I get $5 per view.
Right.
This is my money. That's what happens in John's head, and that's what I'm getting at. And I'm not picking on.
And this happens all the time.
I'm not
in the
picking on
YouTube
old dog.
world.
I'm talking about John. Like I said human nature.
And he
I
was
said,
just trying to be a good
yeah,
humanitarian.
correct. And I said, John's gonna turn on old dog because he thinks all of the money is John's, but that's not how it works. It never does.
Right. And then of course was the other side. Expat John's wife, and some of you have heard this story, or his girlfriend. Sorry, I said wife. Let me retract that. His girlfriend. A lot of people said it was his wife. His girlfriend actually was yelping to everybody because they were broke up at the time. Like literally, he was living somewhere else, living in town. Paul was feeding him and all that. She was back at the house. They had been broken for a little bit, like they've been separated. They were saying over and over again that they were giving her money or, all of that. It was supposed to be helping with diapers. She was going around to our channel. She was going around to that guy in Miami, Jimbo 360, and she was yelping up a storm about how she wasn't getting the money. We sat there and talked to her for the entire day, and we said, okay, the videos that we have out, we offered her the money from them, which was about $40 a video at that time. And I said, we'd be more than glad to wire you 100 because we hadn't even been paid yet. And so that had been 5,000 pesos. She goes, yeah, we haven't gotten diapers, any formula, no nothing. So we decided to cover it. Soon as we did, there was silence on her side. George said she knew once we actually put that up. Yeah, I was seeing that
Oh,
40,000. But yeah, here's the thing. Yeah, but that's not that amount. His
It's not an exact science. It varies. For example,
yeah, but
your
that's only
viewership.
5,000. So
Yeah, it's not an exact science. So
it could be up to $20. So, but you got to figure he had more than probably 1 million views on that. Usually, it probably paid out a couple hundred US dollars per video, up to 1,000. And then figure how many videos he put out. I was kind of not thinking it was at 100,000 for his thing. I was kind of thinking that had to be all the side stuff, but I'm not sure where Gogo Bobo is getting the information because she did come in with all these numbers, or him. I believe it's a male. That I don't know about that, but rough estimate, I was thinking it was 20,000, maybe, like a bunch of other people, because Soft White Underbelly has 5 million in loyal subscribers and they only gathered 80,000. So I'm not believing that he got 20,000 for the videos and then 80,000 from the expats here. They're generous, but do you believe 80,000 was given? Yeah, because Gogo Bobo said that it was 100,000. I would be curious where she's getting the information, or he. I have to say she because she's using a girl's voice.
Again, and I can never, confirm or deny. I mean, because again,
Yeah.
But now Niche has a good point here. Niche
but I doubt
says
it was that much.
there's so many people who flee the U.S. to be digital nomads, aka YouTubers.
Yes.
And YouTube vloggers right out of college forget they have student loan debt. The debt will never be forgiven. Here's the thing.
I thought they did just do something again on debt forgiveness.
Well, there's okay. Now, I'm a responsible guy again, and I'm very good at paying child support.
Big.
But somebody told me, says George. I said, I understand what you're going through. Because again, I went through some harrowing experiences, even though I was unjustly accused of. But anyway, and it was proven by a judge. But anyway, point being is, they actually told me, the lawyers told me, just so you know what's worse than child support?
Student loan.
Student loans. In when it comes to child support, at least you can go to court about it. Student loans, automatic. You can't. It's automatic. Student loans.
Mark Late is the name of the guy. I didn't write down any notes because we've both been under the weather. Yes, he's in the 5 million view, and so is some of the others that are covering his topic. And then there are a bunch under that got like 200,000. There's another woman with 189,000. But now they're all falling in line. It kind of happens here also. Big Papa Travels, where are you getting? You have 2 payouts, the views and then AdSense. You get 2 payouts there, George?
Well, no. Be aware. I mean, like I said,
There are
there is no exact science. Even us YouTubers.
there is. There are stickers that you get paid for. And then if people have premium, we get a separate amount for that. Then there are views, but that is by AdSense. That's not by Google, or that's not YouTube. There isn't a viewer and
Well,
an AdSense
and that's what I
payout.
mean. There's no exact science. There is an exact science,
Right,
yes.
but it equals out to be $2
However,
to $20 per
it
thousand.
varies per that particular viewer. If that viewer is in the U.S., they have a different rate.
Correct.
If the viewer is in the Philippines,
That's why
completely
we
different
say
rate.
2 to 20.
If that
But
viewer's male, different rate. If that viewer's female, different rate. And
I don't know where
and I
Papa gets
said
payouts
and I
for
said
views and
keyword
the
is
AdSense. I mean, it's
viewer.
just
Well,
there-
no. I
there's
mean,
many right, but there are many things. But
no. That's what I mean. That's why I said it's not an exact science. Not on our side, anyway.
okay, I'm going to refocus back on there is no per view and then AdSense.
No, that's what
AdSense is the one that pays out.
Well,
a
that's
check.
what I'm saying. There is no actual formula.
But right, so
There's a
there's a
formula, and there's a.
And honestly, me and George were discussing that YouTube's probably not even, the Google or whatever. The numbers have to be way off.
Not to mention, to add to the confusion, again, talking as a YouTuber, this is why I tell you guys don't be a YouTuber. The transparency is kind of vague. It's not transparent at all as far
Bye,
as
Felicia, Terry, Ashley, and they're talking about this is
Oh
all
yeah,
nonsense.
no,
I'll
yeah,
see you
but
later.
yeah, I didn't.
Troll, I'm sure.
I don't even pay attention to those. But
Yeah, I
but
mean,
Chosen One says earlier,
I mean, the title said it all, and we are talking about it. So that's actually where it is. We have dropped the link for people to actually join up. Who else do we have in here? They're probably
oh
just in
Kiki,
there
nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Chosen One says Expat John came back too quick. I bet he'd be broken and be just being. Yes, I thought that was odd. He showed up like that.
I mean, I know time went by. Me and George said there was like, has
1
it really
year.
been? We've only been here for 3 years, but yeah,
1 year, not 2 years. 1.
So that's another thing. I'm not even aware that I thought he had a couple years, like 3 years before he got his check. They said he already applied for Social Security and got it and everything. So
Which
I thought he
goes
was,
against what he said, but then again, he may have made a mistake before.
and he might have been close to 62 or
right,
got disability,
exactly.
one or the other. The disability he's allowed to apply for. So
Yeah.
over 62, be curious on that. So like I said, we have dropped the link in there. So yeah, you're going to get the people that either love a channel, they either hate a channel. We've heard people say things about this and say things about that. Why we vlog. We just heard a YouTuber, actually 2 of them recently, saying that why people actually vlog. Some really do it, and I've seen those channels direct that just do it just to, it like fills their time. It's a hobby. We've said this is a hobby. The money that we are getting pretty much goes right back into things. It goes into the apps, the extra electricity bills when we do the lives, goes back into equipment, goes back into SD cards to save footage. It goes to a lot of places, but it's not like our main income. And there are vloggers here, like regular guy, that says it's his main income right now. Now, whether he's still teaching or not, who knows? So, what are you thinking about?
No. No, Tax World says, yeah, but ultimately he gave away the money to them. He was too weak to resist them. They're talking about Expat John. And no one forced him to get Diana pregnant, which is true.
Yeah.
He forced him, Anyway, his expensive smoking habit didn't help either. Now,
well, and she said she was telling us that he was going to the bars, staying at different
No, he didn't.
hotels
Yeah,
every
that's
time he didn't want to.
again, he did do that.
He bought a motorcycle. He bought her brother a truck at one point and thought it was an investment, which we tell you guys, bad idea.
Hey.
What is that?
So anyway, the
Yeah,
the
have a
reason
dead
why I thought
face.
about it is because the smoking habit. Okay, pack of cigarettes here, well, they're relatively cheap, and I say relatively. On average, the expensive cigarette, meaning Marlboro, um, is what, $4, which is cheaper than the West, right? But be aware, $4 is $4, and it accumulates. What I'm saying is, let's say you smoke 2 packs a day. That's 400 pesos. That's to some the whole day's wages.
Yeah. Plus he was going to the bars and everything. So, but why we vlog is now just we do it for extras, and now we're so far into the channel, we're just not going to give it up either. So in December we took a break. It became stressful. It becomes stressful for everybody. I've heard many channels say that it's become one problem or another, but it also became, what they like to do. So we've been doing it for several years now. Like George said, we discussed it, and it's like we kind of got the itching to come back. It was just like, we were resting, doing our
I'm just
things.
wondering who. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Never, yeah.
Um.
But we decided because we have a lot of like side investment, like, all the equipment we brought and bought, we're still buying, and the money, the time, over 1,000 videos, the people we've helped, the people that we're still helping, and the people we meet up with. That's why we actually do it. Because a lot of people question that. Because this person that made the threat and the others that have always been coming in with these things, like we've had some of the same trolls the whole time, and we like to thank you for watching. Like they'll come in, and we're just opening up to you guys because a lot of you and part of you watch all these other channels. You guys are, some of you are vloggers. We know a lot of you are micro channels, like some are under 1,000, some are at the 2,000 mark. And a lot of people want to learn something. They want to know something about the Philippines. They have a love and hate for the other channels that we're discussing. And us coming into this niche is because our manager, and we're watching other channels, and it's like, well, we always said we were going to cover other expats anyway. So why aren't we covering vloggers that are doing good things and bad things? And so it's like, or something comes up, such as the fight, and I'm like, that just propelled us in there. And then a lot of people say, oh, you guys are making a killing. That's why. Oh, you're doing it for, how many did we get that said we're doing it for the clicks? And that's the only reason. And it's like, and for the money was the biggest thing. You guys do realize, even at that type of live stream, we're probably getting $20. Still, this month, I think we might make $400. And that was with a bigger month than we've had in a while. $400 for how many hours of answering comments and doing,
Well,
video
okay.
chats
When
and
Heidi says that's not talking about just,
taxes, equipment.
well, not on that. She's not talking about views. That means, for example, chosen one chooses to give us something extra.
Oh,
That's in there. And what I'm saying is, think of it if nobody does it at all.
then we're down to
Actually,
about
most
two,
of it is
300.
because of that.
We get about 10,000 pesos, which to a Filipino, they'd be like, oh my God. But we do more than full time sometimes.
And to add to that, again, remember, views does not necessarily equate to money. And that's what I'm saying. For example, Sab Suck says, don't skip the commercial so YouTuber gets paid. Yes, that's why they call it AdSense, because it's the ads that pays the YouTuber. The views is just an incentive, correct? And so that, yes, so Mr. Sabsuck's correct.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think it's funny, the other channels that pick on other channels and say, well, look at their broke down place, and look at they don't have any money, and look that they, not us, talking about all vloggers that people are talking about. We get the others that will actually go through and say, well, they have to do it, and they degrade that they get a check. And then them same people, when they get a check, they're like, well, I'm not going to refuse the money. Well, it's kind of the same here. We were doing this without the intention of ever getting any money. When people are giving us money, it's nice. But what we're not doing is things like what we told you, like if a typhoon comes up, you don't collect money and say you're giving it and then do nothing at all. Or the ones that do it when the, a devastation comes up, and you will never find, like when we had the British guy that went back to the UK, Daryl. Daryl Mileham. We didn't sit there. We gave his link. If you guys wanted to go deal with him, we were like, we learned from Paul. We are like, you guys go over and see them. We're not going to set up a PayPal and collect money direct or do it, to build somebody like the guys that build the huts out in the jungle and stuff. Some of them, really do some collection on money. But anyways,
Well, they're not huts. It's called Wildlife PH. They actually
there's several of them. You didn't have to drop the name.
Oh well,
There's several of them that do that.
No, I know.
The collection. No, they do it
But
correctly.
they do it correctly, yes. And
There's several of them.
they build, I wouldn't even call them provincial houses. I wouldn't know how to classify those
Okay,
houses.
so we have several guests that have actually been on, and the two that are stirring people up the most is some of our favorites and some of the trolls' favorites. Okay, we're talking about Mike's Philippine journey. A lot of people, there was only one other, what I would call toxic guest would be the one they called Perez Hilton that came on and fought with Mike. A lot of people don't like that we're talking of Old Dog or Mark Thornton, or they just don't like what we say, or they don't like me because I'm independent and an American woman. Who knows why all the vile comes out of some people's mouths? But somebody, and one of those, and we know who it is specifically now, and I'm going to point him out. More than likely, it was a vlogger that's actually been on our channel before. And so it looks like there's some sort of whatever going on. So we're going to put up an actual video of a message that we received after the live stream the other day. And it was like I laughed because they sent it and then they blocked the account, and their words are the same words that have been used before.
Well, it's only one screen, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I turned it into a video.
No, I know, but it's a photo, yeah.
Yeah, your channel has become very toxic. You need to lower the temperature because anyone could get hurt or even ex-nayed. You need to disassociate yourself from your poisonous guests. Now, if they would have said just our toxic ways, then I would have, either way would have made a rat's ass.
Don't worry,
me.
that's not a real person. I'm talking about the name and the picture. I'm sure the photo was stolen somewhere else.
Yeah,
And
it
I'm sure
happens
the name
a lot.
is fake.
And we've had this before. Like somebody will come in. We had this issue last year. Actually, it's been going on for 2 years, where they came in and they mentioned grandkids' names. They mentioned my family members' names and emails recently because they're still at it. It's the same people because use the same words. They pick on me being big. They pick on our jobs. They say that George isn't an artist, that I never worked at Red Lobster, that I swore I was some sort of chef. Never said. Then they go through about my nursing jobs. There's no way we've checked. No, you guys didn't. You guys didn't check any job. So it's called doxing and serious trolling. So these are the people that love us the most, and we're aware of it. Also, be aware in the YouTube world, they will pretend to be other people. So we used to have raw facts come in allegedly and make threats. We had guys pretending to be.
Not the real raw.
I just said that, pretending. I did just say pretend.
No, I know that.
And then they were pretending. Did you put her sweater on?
No.
How about her little backpack? By the way, it's a real quick. This is a female. We found out from the vet. I took her in yesterday, and it is a girl. So when we bought her, we were under the ideal in February that it was a male, and I just didn't pay attention. And they said at a certain age the testicles would descend. I believed in that, and they had not descended.
My balls didn't drop till I was 10. So just saying.
That would have been early for you.
Right.
So,
speaking of balls, what is this?
That's mine.
What is it?
It's my love stick.
Oh, cool. Life size.
There you go, life size. Here, don't you doink. Here, go ahead. Give me that. So anyways, they're like, what the hell did I say? Yeah, you just saw that. So, anyways, um, so they pretend to be other people. And here's the thing. I want to let other channels know, if you guys are watching, that if we have something to say, you'll directly know it's us. So we specifically have a certain messenger, a certain email. You have to pay attention to the emails, and a lot of them will create a second account and pretend like, it's close, and they'll add a one on the end. Ours flat out says Philippine Antics, because we've been questioned by big channels. Did you actually say this about us or something? It's like, yeah, that's not us. And so they've actually questioned us. And like right now with the Mark Thornton thing, I'm sure somebody has created an account, this toxic trolls that are out there will actually send Mark Thornton things and say that we're threatening him. And probably for a little bit, or he still is believing it's us sending the messages. And the same with, there's no way for us to really know, except for if there's a direct, you have to do more searching to see if the person on that account, it's an exact email. And we found out later the one that was pretending to be George and this other big vlogger actually sat down because this had become a whole legal mess a while back. So um they go that far. They'll talk about, I know where you live, and all of this. And honestly, we're not worried about the
They're our greatest fans.
greatest fans. They're just keyboard warriors. So either people will either love a channel or hate a channel. We are not the only ones that get this kind of hate. We're not the only ones. All channels, including the Sweet Pea and Old Dog and the regular guy and all that. It's just where it's at. So yeah. So what you doing? Or are they still, are you looking
They're
for,
still chugging.
who mentioned that?
Oh, somebody. Hector did. He was asking Hector's asking, whatever happened to that channel that used AI as hosts, supposedly expose certain vloggers? They now be aware there's two channels that use the same name, and they kind of battle it off against each other. But anyway, there's still one that now it's hard to tell which one's which, because honestly, I stopped following after the third takedown or whatever.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's still there, but it's not going anywhere, if that makes any sense.
And if that troll is here because they've been on our channel before, come on in here. I mean, if people just all I gotta say is come on in.
Yes, Tim Huss, our puppy identifies as a boy.
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, I guess we never double looked or really, and we're like, okay, maybe it is a boy, and that's why we called her Monkey. And we're still kind of liking the name Monkey, but we did start calling her 2 days ago Chloe, because I was like, I think this is a girl, and then they confirmed it. Yes, of course, But yeah, Chloe. We call her Chloe Bear.
Hey,
'cause we
Brent's
call
World,
the
how you
other-
doing?
Hi, Brent's World.
Yeah, speaking of YouTubers, Brent World, we also have Barry in the PI. Hey, Barry, how you doing, Barry?
In all levels, we'll have trolls.
Wait a minute, Barry? Barry, you're up early. I just realized that.
Yeah, for the we dropped to 9 o'clock right now
It's
in
10
the
o'clock here.
Philippines,
Yeah,
and
in the
then it's
morning.
9 in the U.S. On the East Coast, because there was a time change. So we might stick with 9 again, and then next year go back to 10. It's kind of hard saying in there. So yeah, so like I said, the link is out. Join up. Don't be a keyboard warrior and come in and say what you don't like.
Jim Honor says, are you trying to tell me it's a bunch of crooks and scammers on the internet and possibly YouTube?
Of course.
Right.
And it's always about numbers and clicks. And there are some that do it just for the admiration. They do it because they're a big narcissist, male or female. There are hundreds and hundreds of vloggers here. And they really doubled after the pandemic. And there's a bunch of them actually here. So
Yeah. Hey, Ted, how you doing, Ted? That's pure
and they
evil,
all
Ted
have a
says.
different point of view. It is all entertainment. Our channel is still entertainment. Do we help people? Do they call us? Do they this? Yes, we still do that. We're still the same people. We're just spreading out what we actually do, like literally in different forms. Like you guys will see our personal life, us going out. We did start the pet channel. And then, of course, we've always covered expats in one form or another. And now we're just getting into the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan Day. Ryan Day says, I'm trolling you for good information. Baron PI says, I'm in my Barzan, King of the Jungle phase. There you go.
Mhm.
All right, Chosen One says, I resent this convo. I'm a keyboard warrior, but not a troll or hater. Now, okay, actually, speaking of Chosen
And
One,
there's nothing wrong with putting out your,
yeah,
the
see,
truths, and that's
exactly.
we want to
And
hear that.
actually, we've been asking Chosen One to go camel, and not because again, we've known and we've met Chosen One. Chosen One is a good example. For example, Chosen One is not afraid to give his 2 cents to us, to you guys. You guys, whenever it doesn't matter what YouTube chat he's in, he's always himself. If he's against you, he's against you. If he's not, he's not. But guess what? In the end, he he's just as he is. He doesn't sway against the wind. He's always true to himself. And for
Mhm.
example, me and Heidi have said things that go against what he believes, and yet he's still
Yeah, if
with
he says
us.
something, we
Correct.
say, yeah.
Because
So,
he understands that that's human nature. That not everybody's going to agree with you.
well, here's the thing. Everybody changes, everybody has a bad day, all these things happen. And a lot of people think that we're 1,000% against Mark Thornton or Old Dog or the P and stuff because it's about numbers or hate and you had a good saying about that today when I was talking about all of that, about you were just saying it earlier. We've been discussing this all morning, but we don't. That's the bottom line. I can't think of many channels that I just outright would just say, it's not for me and I don't go back. We still watch. And they want us to watch. The P still wants us to watch. We still want the trolls to watch, and they're going to watch. It's like a train wreck. You guys can't help yourself. When me and George is fighting, it totally disturbs some people, but here's the thing, not everybody can see every moment of our lives. And the same with, what goes on in these other households. Yes, they don't put it out, and then some go too far. Like where we discussed the Campbell channel
Right.
when they had their bad fights and she put him on camera and did all that stuff when he was down and out the airports and, doing the hose bath on the front porch. And some things you would want to actually, it was too much exposure.
Now, for example, Chosen One. Okay. Again, not against you, Chosen One. For example, Chosen One. If he was a troll, he's not. He would, let's say, at the end of our life, would send us hate mails and send us personal messages on fake accounts, and then, but he doesn't do that. He just after the live or even after the topic, he quiets down and says, "Okay, move on," which means he's a
Yeah,
normal
it's kind of like
person.
watching a Jerry Springer
Right.
show. Some you're
However,
not going to like, and others,
right,
it's,
the
because you
troll,
still.
the troll mentality, they fester. They, you live, you live in their head. Like we take up their space.
Good morning, Ruby.
And since we do that, technically, do you think they're winning? No, we're winning because we just took up most of your life in your head, and you're spending the whole day thinking
Well,
about
here's
us.
the thing. I heard a vlogger say it right, and it's kind of the way I feel. Is that if for the haters and the trolls and the ones that just don't like our content for many reasons, you guys, I'll get to that part about me being a Western expat and how it's put out over here. How bad the
You're
Western expat
Western?
went. No, I'm not. I'm Chinese. Uh, oh, I'm part Chinese and French. Get over it, guys. So now you know. So it's so now you got more to hate about me. So it's that we're winning, okay, and we're saving lives at the same time because those trolls are not offing themselves or out robbing or doing bad things, or we're saving them somehow, some way, because they spend all their time sitting in front of the computer, staying out of trouble. Right, babe? We saved them. So it's okay with us, but they don't scare us by any means. A lot of them think that we're just sitting here or the other channels and that they're like all over themselves. And it's just not, guys. The mall cop is Thornton, huh?
Okay, LG says this channel has a habit of saying I have nothing against them. I'm just commenting on their actions or comments, I'm thinking you guys have something against them. Okay, now here's the thing, LG. Now again,
If you throw them, why would you consider that throwing them under the bus?
okay, that's another thing a lot of people don't realize. And again, first off,
And we're not the only channel. So I'm going to let you know, we just said there are several other vloggers covering the underbelly. So they're throwing that guy under the bus and they hate that channel.
well, yeah, that's what I mean, and that's what I'm saying.
CNN
First
hates
off,
somebody if they cover
in
this or
real
that.
life or in YouTube, first off, okay, whether in real life or in YouTube, you don't have to qualify yourself to anybody. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. Okay. The only time qualification, the fact that the word is qualification, the only time you are technically supposed to qualify yourself if you're about to do a task that requires that qualification. Meaning, for example, when they say, "Hey George, why don't you paint this car for me?" Then I'd be like, "Okay, well, I can do this, but I can't do that because now I'm qualifying myself to the task." But what I'm saying, but like for example, me and Scott, we're talking to each other. Scott, without me qualifying myself, he already knows I have a background in paint because it's like one of those, you know, like,
Oh, right. Okay.
well, basically, like, okay, he's saying stuff that most people won't know. Bottom line, you don't have to prove yourself, okay,
Well,
to
how about,
anybody.
okay, well then let's put, for instance, and this will give me a chance to say this. How about old dog putting down American women all the time? Does that mean he hates American women?
Well,
Always. Okay, he just recently was talking about the American women not being so fresh at Walmart. I just found a video of him 2, 3 years ago that I just watched
I
this
wouldn't say
morning.
hate.
Well, okay, but he's saying that we're not against him, right? Hate, okay, against. So I'm using the
Okay,
wrong
okay,
word.
no,
So
no, 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 no.
against. So is he against that because he discusses them?
Not so much hate. I guess the word is resent. Yes.
All right, I'm just going by
But
LG,
okay, now that
commenting on their actions,
right,
and
right,
I
right.
think you guys have something against. So does Paul have something against because he mentions them? Does that mean he hates him? Or I'm using a
And
broad
LG
range of
again,
words because Paul's exact words were discussing American women and how baby May doesn't talk back to him and all this, and he's always saying something about the American women. Does he feel all of these things about, like, when all these people mention the way I treat George or the way I pop off or me being loud and all that, and they keep referring along with the Filipina P that refers to these Western women, and she makes all these comments, size, cooking, all these alleged bad things that are pinned on one person. I don't pin everything on one Filipino. I don't pin everything all on the American men. Okay. So is this the same as his mother, his aunt, his sisters, his daughters? Do they feel that about all of them? But why is there always a referral to the relationship side? And I'm bringing that in for good reasons. Is all these channels or whatever. I
well,
feel our channel is scrutinized to all hell because I'm a loud mouth, forward American. So I speak my mind. And yes, if I'm in the store and George has some sort of reaction, yeah, in public, I'm going to say something to him.
and that's
And he will me too.
right. But LG again, basically the analogy I always use that I've been using more commonly recently again. You don't agree 100% with your best friend. Does that mean because you disagree with one particular action that they do, you're completely against them? No. Same thing if you, now I'm not naming any presidents, but I'm saying, let's say you voted for a president and they did something you're completely against. Does that mean you denounce that president? No. Not everybody agrees with everybody 100%. Their actions and that person does not make the whole.
Well, he used the referral to throw them under the bus.
No, no, no. I know that.
And
But what I'm
I
saying
don't, if
is,
that's the way they see it, at you guys as a viewer, and here's the thing, you all are all, and I'm talking about quite a few of you are up in multiple channels. We see this. Mike's Philippine Journey sees us. A lot of people, Andy Omar, a bunch of them will see all of you in the same rooms. And when that, what's it called? The we were just talking about expat trash and all these others come along
Trash.
and raw facts and all that. A lot of these guys that are in our rooms now and in the other rooms and all these others are in on good
Hi,
and
David.
bad. So nobody throw somebody on the under the bus, whatever. I mean, I just think it's
Well,
odd.
and again, LG, again, with all due respect, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but be aware, be broader. And again, you don't.
I challenge
even
LG
your-
to cam up.
le-
See, we
well,
appreciate you being
like
in
I
the
said,
room.
even your mom, I'm pretty sure even your mom, she does something that just irks you, but that doesn't mean you hate your mom because she does something that you hate. One action does not
And why
constitute the
does
whole.
truths mean throw him under the bus? The man did his own video. Everything that we speak of, and if
Well,
I'm joking about his beanie
for
bears,
example,
he put his own crap out there,
Right.
and so do these other
let's say the
vloggers.
Mark Thornton thing.
What stuff? We are not,
put
and
out-
I'm going to put Andy Omar under the bus right now. Andy Omar really goes after the jugular of all these, all these different types of content creators and individual people. He said that anybody that appears on Mark Thornton's show from now on, he's actually going to cover them, and he pretty much said that he's going to find all the stuff about them. He's going to expose them all. Do we do that? No, we don't sit there and make all these like open-ended. In my opinion, that's a threat.
Well, the reason why Andy said that is because I'm not going to go further into that. But anyway,
All I'm saying is that he's got a different type of exposure. It doesn't mean that we hate him. It doesn't mean I'm currently throwing him under the bus. I'm telling you the facts that the man said out of his mouth. Okay, what? I'm not allowed to speak. George is not allowed to
well,
speak.
for
We're not
that,
allowed
that's
to
where I was
run the
getting
channel.
at.
This is our channel.
We get attacked for instance, like again, LG, not against you. That they say, oh, why are you it's none of your business. Actually, they made it our business when he says, "Oh, I did this at ground zero," and
That's right,
yet all of a sudden this white knight says, "Oh, you're not supposed to talk about that. That's personal." I said, "Really? If it was personal, why is it on YouTube in his channel?" You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't make us the bad guy. In the perception of things, you think we're the bad guy, but wait, who put out what where? Now, it's different if we hacked into his camera system in his computer, downloaded this undisclosed
And that
video
does happen,
and
by the
uploaded it.
way.
Yes, and then we uploaded it, and then yeah, we're the bad guy. But no,
Or we follow somebody around with a camera and then outright expose them, and that happens also. We're not to that end.
then even
We're
then,
just into,
even then, it's happenstance. What I'm saying is, even then,
we're
if-
just in the entertainment factor, which whatever it is,
well,
it is.
it's like okay, like friends, okay.
Everybody's trying to qualify themselves that, oh, I do this and I do expat help and I help guys come here and I'm just trying to show you my life. Don't do what I
Okay,
do. This
now,
is my life situation. and all this.
Actually,
They spend hours editing, vlogging, interviews, travel, and all that to say, oh, this is just me being basic. No, they do it for one reason or another.
yeah. Now, Go 3 lives ago, brought up a good point. Which side are you on? Now, when he or she said that, it was a valid point. The reason being is because, again, remember, it doesn't.
LG says I
it-
love drama.
And I said it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what Heidi says. It doesn't matter what you say. It's what really happened. You know what I'm saying? You can't
See, there's
change.
a few people in here. PH
Yeah,
Prepper, why don't you join the live stream? I've seen Alex in here.
You can't
too.
change what really happened and what was released out into the wild, as it were. And unfortunately, in the last previous discussions, these were brought out with their own words on YouTube.
Yeah, you actually do. If you look at this, you do look a little fuzzy on one side. I wonder why. They said you're looking fuzzier than me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do. George is kind of fading away. He's been hardly eating the last few days. I know, it's weird. You see it? See the corner of you? It seems to be more in that area.
Oh,
that it's-
I can't tell right now. I'm still kind of not quite there, somewhat under the weather.
Now we got PH Prepper
Kinda
in,
deal.
and I believe PH Prepper. Haven't you been on Mark Thornton's channel? Maybe you can, vouch about the type of person he is. We're not saying he's a bad guy.
And Niche says a good point here, and this is what Heidi always says.
Don't say something online to someone that you wouldn't want to say in their face, and I believe in that too. Hey, how are you feeling, sweetie?
I'm doing better. Doing better.
Yeah, it sounds like you still got that cold though.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, PH Expat Prepper says I may join someday, but
About
to eat lunch, and we'll be listening in. Oh
Gotcha.
yeah, Chosen One. If you're still in the room, speaking of Chosen One, hey Chosen One, thank you so much. I thought you said you're gonna count out, man.
Yeah, come on. Get up.
Morenito Echenevera talk about Rique Velez. Yeah, let's talk about Rique. That's something we don't really talk about. I can't understand. I think they're saying is
Morenito.
What is that? The male version of Moreno?
No. Okay. Morena is your darker skinned Filipina, and Moreno is your darker skinned Filipino. Morenito means the darker skinned boy Filipino.
Oh snap!
It's Spanish.
So I can hear you. Have to turn your volume down a little bit, Bruce, because that's why we're getting a little bit of feedback. We always have to turn ours about midway. There never thought about Rique. We really haven't covered Rique himself. I know some people have had opinions about Rique, and then I was kind of surprised when he actually got married and everything. Hey, Mike, what do you think about Rique?
What happened to Rique?
All right.
Well, did you see his Facebook post about having surgery and he almost went blind and everything recently?
I don't follow him on Facebook. I barely go on Facebook to see my own family, and then I'm going to be following Rique. I don't do Facebook as much.
No, supposedly I thought maybe he had cataracts or something, but he literally went into this full speech and put out like this gigantic paragraph saying how his wife nursed him back to health and everything else, that he was almost legally blind until he just had a surgery. And so he's been healing from that, and he went into a full story. So maybe it was cataracts.
He's got diabetes?
Or maybe it might be. I don't know if he's diabetic or not. So
go get some weed or something. Maybe it can help him.
Right.
Just don't do it here.
Got glaucoma.
Yeah. So Mike, we're on a favorite topics of haters and trolls, legend vloggers in the Philippines.
Love.
Do you like your photo? I made you younger. Made you a baby Superman.
Yeah. You know what? Next time use my regular photo. You don't have to AI my own. Okay.
Hey Mike, I'm gonna send you the photos that almost went up.
Like I put it this way. I didn't even know you guys were live till my girl told me. I think somebody's using your picture, and I'm just like, what?
Can I tell him who he did look like, or save that for later?
No, don't say it.
Right?
Don't say it.
No, we had other ones that had AI generated.
Actually, I think it just says right there.
What's that? Well, they're saying talk about Rique Velez.
Rique.
Yeah, we'll talk about Rique.
Rique and little kids.
No, you should post Tess's. I mean, this is a good example of trolling. So, go put Tess's what do you call this thing? $2 Canadian dollars.
Oh yeah, did you put that up there? Did you put that up?
I mean that just shows trolling right there, and you just gotta deal with it, right? So it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like they think they think it's offensive. I look at it and say that's awesome. You guys just got $2 from them. I mean, in my humble opinion, Tess, you should be sending me some if you're gonna be using that. Gladly have you give me some $2 every now and then.
Yeah, guys,
I need some Starbucks money.
If our trolls are in the room, you guys can go to Mike's live streams and say bad things about us, because they're always talking about that they're going to expose us and all, all that. And I'm like, oh, please do. I'll talk about myself all day long, man.
Yeah. So Ruby
Like,
says Mike's photo was mestizo, like he got bleach on his face. For you guys, what that means is if this is Norm, this is Norm, this is darker skin is Moreno, mestizo is the lighter skinned one. So
but see, I
mestizo
am truly
and then
mestizo.
Moreno.
I am like light skinned.
No,
Like
he is light skinned. We've met Mike.
skin.
No, he is. He's
You
light.
know, so it's like, I work hard to get this tan. I want to, like, people say, like, oh, you hate on morenos and stuff like that. I was like, no, I want dark skin. I was like, come on.
They were pointing us out in the restaurant, said them white people over there are just acting a fool.
Yeah.
And both me and Mike looked at the same time.
I was like, we whites, what is up? It's all good. I mean, it's the fun part is when you get like, oh, you're racist against black people, right? I get that.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you'll get, you're racist against white people. Then you're racist against Filipinos. Then you're racist against this. You're racist against Mexicans. So it's
Right.
like, it's just funny to me how that kind of like happens. I'm like, how is that possible? Right. So, or like I get people getting mad at me because, I'm showing, like, I'm doing like the translation for Rafi Tulfo and I do reactions to Rafi Tulfo. And people
Right.
are like, and they say that's why I'm racist to white people, because I'm showing only, white guys getting scammed, whatever.
Never
and I
gonna
just
be somebody satisfied.
yeah,
like
and then
George last night.
and then when you counter and say, well, I did a Rafi with a guy who's Mexican, I did a thing with Rafi where a guy is, the left and right, and it's just like people throw around the whole R word so much that it's like,
Oh, I told you about. You talking about the racist word, or am I missing something?
no, just like, people like to throw it around saying that you're this, you're that. I was like, if there's empirical evidence and stuff like that, if they say something, if they really fully talk down in a particular group and stuff like that, then I'm like, okay, fine. Then you can have, but you need at least 3 pointers. Typically, before something is true, it has to be at least a minimum of at least 3 evidences that shows that that's what it is at one particular point. So it's like, it's no different than when people started to try to put down Joe Rogan because he used the N-word, right?
Right, Joe Rogan.
But it was used but then when you really pay attention to it, it was used in a context where he had a guest that was using the N-word that said, okay, this is, and so, sometimes it's like, but in all due honesty, just try to stay away from those things, right? So, so you can avoid it. But at the very same time, if somebody wants to throw something on you, they are gonna throw it, and everything, which is unfortunate, on that, on
and like I
those
said,
situations.
we were discussing that. Yeah, you're never gonna get the crowd to be 100% happy, and they're gonna throw in what I call the woke situation, or they're going to throw in things like that. They're going to throw in the race cards. They're going to throw in, you're hating, you're this and that. And I find the reason, especially where we hear, where your trolls come in, is because you're a fact spinner, and they don't like that you're intelligent and you break things down. And because, like I said, I always say this, and I'm going to reiterate it, that when I first started watching, I was like, oh my God, this guy's just hating. And then I started watching all of your content and started listening to you. I said, it bothers me because he's being truthful. It was bothering me because you bring such good points. And George does the same. And I think that's why sometimes me and George butt heads, because we're both fact people, and we're both like, we'll sit here and have great conversations all day. It's like my best friend. But sometimes best friends don't agree. But when you bring the facts and the real truth, people are just going to lose their minds.
And I think that's where a lot of people get upset, right? Because when they do try to use a lot of those things, because I mean, like, people say, well, Michael, you throw ad hominems out there all the time, right? But see, when I do say something that could be, you can say, like considered an ad hominem or whatever it is, I follow just the basic rules of the Graham's hierarchy of disagreements. That's what I kind of do. So, before I even start using ad hominems, or if I use name calling, whatever, I start off by having like a refutation or counter arguments, putting logic in there, putting bullet points, situation. So when I go to ad hominems, I've already proven my point, and I can have fun with you. So typically, if you see me, when I do get into debates with people,
Like George.
I'll say all the logical things first, and once I got you to start being emotional, so if you probably notice in a lot of my debates, I go logic, and then towards the end, when I already had put my points in, then I go and attack with ad hominems, and then they get really, really fussy because by then they're very emotional.
Right.
You know, so I mean, so that's the thing that kind of works out. It's like, yeah, I'll put some logic in it, and my thing is, go ahead and bring me some counter arguments that is logical as well, right? So that's the thing that needs to be put in place. I mean, like for example, I'm coming out with a video because what you see a lot of this thing where a lot of guys are putting in the comment section everywhere, and it's been brought up by several other vloggers out there. I'll just never mention their names right now, but how they use this narrative of Filipinos having low IQs or having actually the lowest IQ in Southeast Asia, right? The lowest scoring. So, okay, but did you look into the study, how it was attained? That's the problem also, is like people like to use a lot of these things, sometimes all these counterpoints, but not look at how the study was made or how it was obtained.
Right.
I like to look at studies. I like to dive deeper.
Right.
You know?
And like you have experience, you have family members, you've been here. So you were raised with Filipinos. So it's kind of like the real life experience counts for something. And what me and George was discussing yesterday, a lot of these keyboard warriors, trolls, haters, lovers, and guys that are watching all these channels that surround us, good percentage will not even make it here. Probably what, 98%? Is it less
I'll
than
give
that?
80. I'll do the Pareto principle and say 80%.
80. Okay, I'd give that. Yeah, it just seems like less than that. But the percentage that are watching us will never make it here. So 20% would be a good number. And so they really don't have that real life experience, which is something that you have, George has. Now, me being here for a few years and observing as a Western woman, and I still think that bothers people. So instead of spinning dreams and webs and, pussy traps and all of that, we're just putting out things that actually. What?
Use honey traps.
Oh, sorry. George calls it honey trap.
Well, that's the actual official
I'm talking
term.
about catching cats. I got a trap out there right now with bananas in it. Talking about a cat trap. So,
I mean, like you guys just put a comment out there, for example, something about 1 million views.
Yeah.
you have that, George?
Oh.
40,000. Yeah,
1 million
40,000.
views. So I'll tell you one thing, Big Papa, that's completely wrong because it also depends on the niche. So in this niche,
Correct.
we're seeing probably between $7 to $9 per mil.
And here, with us having 40-50% Americans, we're making about $4 to $5 because we're here in the Philippines, set for the Philippines.
Okay, so like for me, for example,
Way less.
If you look at how that kind of works out, the 1 million views technically is only $7,000, Papa. So just to let you know, this is where sometimes people look into Social Blade and say, oh, this is how much they're making. They're not making that much. It's completely off. I have another channel that's completely not in this niche. Completely. I barely even touch it. I barely touch it. There's new videos every now and then. It's just headless type of a channel, but for another type of business. That one generates $21 per mil. I wish I get 21 in this niche, right? So it just, people just need to know that is false.
Yeah,
that's not 44,000.
Yeah,
I wish
on the niche where the viewers are coming from, how long they view it. But he was trying to say that there was an AdSense payout and another type of payout, and it's kind of not that way. It's like one check coming from AdSense. The only thing that's different is within there, you get paid, like I said, for premium. You get paid for stickers. There's kind of those levels of payment, but
yeah,
it comes
that's
from one
completely
source,
separate.
and so many variables for sure. But that's a good point. It depends on the actual category.
And then if your views are majority lives with, let's remove the super chats and super stickers and stuff like that.
Right.
You get literally 1/3 of what you typically get. So if your You know, so if like say for me, I'm around $8 per mil. I don't mind sharing that. That means if I do a live and let's say I get a live that has 1,000 and I have a video that has 1,000, the video with 1,000 is gonna net me $8 for every 1,000 views. But a live that has 1,000 will only get me about $2-3.
Right.
Hmm.
And we
So
do
people need to
mostly
understand
live.
that that's how it works.
Right. We happen to like our lives. So,
Mhm.
when we truly say we're not doing it for the money, it's because we don't want to lose the channel either. It's
Yeah.
like one of our hobbies. We like helping people, but I love it when you say, Mike, that it's my channel. Like you say, you always say it's your channel. You'll cover the content. When some people are questioning why you allow certain guests or you do this, I heard you the other day say it's because it's your
What?
channel, and that is the truth. You can
Yeah.
make the exceptions because it's your channel. The same with this being George's channel. If people think that I'm 100% controlling this channel and choose the topics, what people don't realize is most of them do come from George, and that we do discuss it. Sometimes there are deep arguments. Like when you see us fighting at the beginning of a live stream, it's usually a heated debate and a bad argument before the live starts, not over like everyday life, like, hey, George, you left the coffee on the counter and left a stain. No, it's usually about the topic we're getting ready to discuss. And, it just gets kind of heated. But like I said, this is my best friend here, and who can we get heated with? And so it's his channel, it's your channel at the end of the day. I mean, this person making this threat really didn't make 2 cents to us, but it's the fact that they got that heated, and we do laugh a lot about it. So
Mhm.
I'm sure you've had your fair share of trolls there, Mike. Do they actually contact you, of course, by mail also, besides through your comments? Or
Well, like what you were talking about early on, George, and stuff like that. Like, listen, if people put out videos on their channel, they want exposure. So you can't get mad if some other people jump in it, right? I've been hacked in my channel, like through email. That's why I don't do emails anymore. I don't touch emails no more. I removed email from my account. And it's funny, like I still get emails and I start laughing. When I get emails, I know that's a troll automatically. That somebody's trying to either troll me or hack me, just for the reason that my email has been away from my channel for more than 9 months, more than 10 months now. So how did you, when I never heard you before, all of a sudden I get an email, right? So
right.
so I laugh a lot when I see those. I've been hacked, and people try to say, okay, you're this and that. I was like, fine, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm, just let it be.
And
I've
a
been,
lot and
so
yeah, a lot of people also don't realize, okay, and this is another tidbit for those that are in the room, trolls, lovers, haters, other channels, because there's a lot of them. Bite me first off. But secondly, you guys got to understand at the end of the day, these other vloggers want that exposure. The more that we put out and got a couple thousand views for a live stream or something, and we're tagged to Mark Thornton, it's just putting his name out. Now they want to go see what Mark's doing. So they're all over there at Mark saying it's no such thing as bad publicity. It really is that these guys at the end of the day, like the ones that stay, what would you say, irrelevant or whatever, I will throw in, expat John, a British expat in the Philippines. We just heard another channel talking about him saying, oh, he never came on my channel. And then I just was kind of thinking about it, and they used our video and they said a bunch of things about us that was incorrect. And then I was just like, but you know what? It's just more exposure on top of that. But we advised him it'd been nice if you'd have dropped the link. You mentioned our name. You should have put the link of the video in, because his entire video was about us. And so it's still, as long as you're not putting out, like we were saying, like putting out like their address and their driver's license, and you're putting all this personal information, and you're not doing serious defamation and all of that, where it's destroying their entire money and career and all that, a lot of them are okay with it.
So
yeah.
that is something, I guess, that maybe struck me, and it got me upset. Okay, because that's what I was trying to tell John in the comments. doxing people and doing that stuff to people, man, is just wrong. Like, he is in his feelings by him doing that. Okay. And I'm just gonna make one thing clear. I don't care if he's listening or not.
He probably
Okay.
is. I'm sure he is.
I've had 4 times since I've been on watch this and been up here or gone to Mike's over. Okay. I don't say much and I don't put people, but what I will say is sending police to people's work, to their house, to this kind of stuff. Okay, this is why I said what I said. All right. If
I'm sorry.
you can't take what people say, then either take a break or do something else, because you know, I don't dox people. I could do a lot of stuff if I choose to. I just choose not to because I'm an older person. All right. I've moved on with my life. I've done pretty good, you know, from my history of an addict, of being clean and sober and stuff. Like, I'm not going to do stuff like that to people. But when I hear stuff like, when I seen that, I was just like, I just wanted to like choke out John, man. It's like, because it's not about me saving Mike or anything, or trying to stick up to say it. The whole point is, why would you have people want to bother his family? Like, they have nothing to do with this.
Yeah. No, I agree on that.
Like that's what got me, is because it's like you're just making yourself look like a complete idiot when you do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, you know, it's funny how he tried to say that he even tried almost to say that he didn't do it until I said I got a copy of the thing. That's when he's like, oh, this and that. But but like I said, a good example is like Tess. You know, Tess is a perfect doxing troll right there, because she's making sure that her things gets highlighted, but it's not a her, it's a he, just to let you guys know. So and then gets it highlighted by paying that $2. You guys already earned 4 Canadian dollars from her or him. So but the thing though is like, look, it puts my last name. Even though the fact that I'll say it's my last name, or whatever, her putting it out here in this sense of things doesn't make any sense at all, right? That's literally doxing right there. And the thing though is that a lot of them will try to gain your reaction. Now people can say, well, Michael, don't you make videos about another channel? Sure, but I don't dox them. That's something I'm never gonna do, right? I'm not gonna do that. And the thing though is, if they put the video out, you have to understand that people will have the right to make their own reaction and their own ideas and stuff like that. And in the end, it's like, that's open. And like I said, there was one channel that had all my videos, like 90% of his channel was all my videos.
Yep.
Right. And so, but he tried to, how would you say, have this thing of like, he was breaking me down, trying to say, this is how you have an argument. This is how you do this and that. And I said, well, so show my whole video. Right. So it got to the point I gave him an ultimatum. And at the very same time, is like, he had a good 1.5 years of doing what he was doing. So I made my move. I said, I gave you that opportunity for so long. And I said, from now on, any new video that from now on, because I've given you warning for over 1.5 years, I said my statement. I told him what's up. I said, listen, from now on, I said, now you're going to have to do this. He didn't want to do it. He's like, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it that way. Okay. So if that's the case, I'll do it my way. His channel's gone.
Yep.
Whole channel deleted. Now, it's like the counter argument is like, I should not be reacting to other people's videos, right?
Right.
That's his big one of the guys' argument was like, I should be reacting to other people's videos. I shouldn't say bad comments about it. I shouldn't say negative things. But wait a minute. If that's your argument, then why are you doing that to my videos? Like, you can't be a hypocrite.
Correct. Right.
Like, you cannot be a hypocrite. And so,
yep.
Right.
Yep.
So guess what? His channel's gone. And people are bitching, people are bitching about it. And like, there's one viewer made a comment earlier on, we're not going to mention his name, You know, it's funny how he makes his comments here, but he talks crap in other channels about us anyways. And you know, and he's the one, the guy's been asking me to debate me. Now he doesn't want to debate me because he knows I would whoop his ass in a debate. Like, he knows I would whoop his butt in a debate easily. You know, and most of these guys are keyboard warriors because they won't show up. I actually give kudos to people that shows up on a debate. But I know if you're a keyboard warrior, you're emotional, and I will whoop your butt in a debate easily.
I agree
Logic
on
beats
that.
emotion.
I'm gonna whoop your butt in a debate. Oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious? Wouldn't that be funny, man?
I know I can.
Did that. Yeah.
Most of these people that are keyboard warriors are all emotional attached.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, negative emotions, which is great, which is fun
That's
to
the
watch.
reason, like, I like MYK, man, is, and the same goes with George and Heidi. And people are going to complain about them. They're going to complain about everybody. But it's like, when you put this stuff out here, it's like you're handing people, you know, to a gift. And it's nothing like, listen, if it's out here, it's thrown out here. It's game, right? It's game on. And
yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah. I mean, content is content.
He tells the facts. You do the same thing, you guys. I appreciate that. That's what I try to tell people. Like, you don't have to like these people, but they're putting up facts. They're putting proof up here, and they're not just sitting here doing it to throw it into somebody's face, to hate somebody. Look,
right.
Look
and it's not the only content. Hey, and it's not the only content. So the latest thing we've been hearing over and over again is it's the only stuff that we do. And it's like, oh,
that's not true.
We got 1,000 other videos of everything. We have a whole selection on Expat Help. We have a whole thing on us going out and doing things, us talking to people throughout the town, going to places. We have our stuff in Florida and Mexico. No, it just happens to be something added per our YouTube manager. Spread out, start covering what the other vloggers, look what's relevant in the form of content. And we cover expat. So of course I'm going to cover it. And I started looking deeper and I was like, what's good for the goose is good for the goose, period. So it's just like, I'm sorry. It's, you know, it is what we're going to cover. And, you know, the same people, it's kind of like Jerry Springer and all these talk shows that get into stuff. They watch.
They want to hear it, Heidi. You can sit here and keep saying that and saying that. They want you. They want to complain about you just because they don't like you. Yep. That's all. But in reality, they want to hear Heidi go off on somebody, or they want to hear George and MYK blast somebody. You know, like it doesn't matter what you do. It could be the smallest little thing. But when I first came in, you guys were talking. George was talking about budgets of him and you guys.
Yeah.
Not anybody else, but you guys, and it's not everybody's budget. And that's what I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, these people, man, are just, I don't know, are they just screwed up in the head? Just because there wasn't no Mark Thornton talking about it. It was budgets, and it was your daily stuff that you use. So I don't know. I don't understand that.
Yeah. What you got to say about that, George? George still sicky poo.
George, you got any donuts left?
Right.
Right.
No, there's a vendor walking by, and I'm trying to figure out what they're saying. It almost sounds like, "Bring out your dead."
Yeah,
Bring out your dead.
It's possible.
It's 10:30, right? So it's got to be fish.
Yeah, it's probably. Well, our fish woman is the same woman. It's a Muslim woman that comes by on a motorbike. All the cats, like the sellout cats that we feed them in the morning, go running out of the yard over there to wait for the fish heads because she scrapes them to the ground and they come running. But no, she comes pretty early a.m., like 6 a.m. So at least it's early a.m., fresh off the docks.
They're still alive.
Yeah, they're still alive. So that's the best way. We've had her fish before, but no, we get the vendors that go walking by. What?
It's the best way you've had her fish. Early in the morning when it's fresh. Just saying.
You sure it's been out there all
Yeah,
night? What
after
if the
she took
fish
a
has been out
shower
all
and it's
night?
clean. After it's been cleaned up, that's the best time to have it.
Ah,
So one
Throw
of
a
my
little
friends,
salt
I
on
watched
it.
one of her videos from like
Little
a
salt and
couple
vinegar
years.
on it, Mike.
What?
Vinegar.
Salt, vinegar, and what?
Yes, I love vinegar. White.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, haters are going to hate that. That's just where it's at, and it's and then we could actually discuss besides the YouTube thing is the ones that are we were discussing about why people like certain channels, why they gravitate towards those channels like Rike's and Everyman's and the regular guy. Did I already mention regular guy?
Mhm.
So we're talking about the certain channels that people actually gravitate to
The regular
and
guy.
how they feel they're such legends now, or maybe the vloggers themselves think they're legends in their minds. We were discussing just, what makes people tick as far as watching these channels. And as an American female expat in her 50s, I feel it's because it feeds their mind. It feeds the needs or what they think. They think they're going to become Mark Thornton and get that woman. They're going to become Old Dog, because I was talking about how Old Dog's content has majorly changed. You go back 2 years ago, he had all kinds of different content. It wasn't always where he's just putting out, the straight either interviews or the straight information. It used to be a little different back in the day. And it's I don't know, it's just it's everybody has who they want to watch, and it's mostly for that because when they go to their personal stuff, like recently a bunch of the vloggers had done some of their own personal stuff, they lose views. It drops down, to about 25% of their regular views when it's them personally. But like, I think Old Dog just covered the hair transplant thing. He got less views for that, of course. But
Because yeah, most people are not gonna because it's not something that people are looking for in majority. Like most guys are not looking for hair transplants,
right,
right? So I
right.
mean, it just depends on what really gets to them. I mean, and it's pretty crazy how that but at the same time as people evolve in a way on how they do their content. I mean, that's something that's
Yeah, they
that
definitely, yeah,
shows.
we've evolved, definitely, a lot of them do.
But what a lot of
Well,
people don't understand is it's a psychological thing as well. I mean,
no,
most
I
people
can't
are
hear.
watching those people's because
Whoa.
that's what's put in front of them, right?
That was weird.
So if you're a person that watches, let's say
Hmm.
Rike, you have a higher chance that you're going to be pushed with an Old Dog content or a Mark Thorne because we know like I can go to my studio and understand like the top 10 channels that my viewers watch, right? We can find
Right.
out who are those people. So you're going to see a lot of that stuff kind of Chris, it's force fed onto you. Like people don't understand. It's like that's why Facebook, like for example, is getting sued was because that they were people that were depressed. They were pushing more depressive stuff to them, right? Because that's
Yeah.
the algorithm that kind of puts in. If you're gonna if you truly are into a lot of the you could say sex pat things and stuff like that, you're gonna get pushed a lot of sex pat things. You're gonna get pushed just like stuff like regular guy because that's soft porn. I mean, and I think that
Yeah.
even regular guy, Scotty Boy, understand that that's his content. That's
Right.
how it is. People want to have that, and
A
it's
supply and demand.
yeah, it's escapism is pretty much. I mean, I started a channel because I was fucking bored in my condo, and I just wanted to start talking to talk to someone. So it
Right.
doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna say my mind and put it on video and stuff like that. And if people watch, people watch. And some people watched, some people left, some people stayed, and it's perfectly fine. So it's like Tess, for example, another $2. Good job, Tess. If Michael is mestizo, then I'm Scandinavian. Well, mestizo replies to someone of Spanish blood living in the Philippines. So I am a mestizo. So I guess you're not Scandinavian. So once again, this is the fun part where you have people in this niche that are speaking certain things that they have no clue what they're talking about. That's what a lot of these vloggers, a lot of these you would say trolls or haters, is that they're talking, they don't like your subject because it goes away from what they learned from other vloggers or what they thought and stuff like that, and because it goes against from their own
personal beliefs.
yeah, just like for example, identity politics. It's like if their politics is this way and you say this way, they're gonna get upset at you because that's not how they view politics. So it's the same exact thing. It's like in a microcosm type of a system where people are like, no, that's not the Philippines I know, right? Then they're gonna get upset because you're breaking their own mold. You're breaking what their concept is.
That is a perfect,
and it upsets them.
statement.
That's good, man. That's good.
So it's just
well, I mean, look, you could also look at it as okay. When people talk politics or something, it's like when they say people that like Joe Biden hates America. If people like Donald Trump, then you're automatically some kind of criminal, or I mean, like it just gets
against,
worse.
against
it's
the
sad,
actual
man. I hate to
immigrants.
see this.
So yeah, you're never
Right.
going to
I
make
hate to
one
see
person
this.
happy.
yeah, you want to cause a fight?
It
Talk
doesn't
politics.
Right.
You
Want to stir up
hate
the
America
room?
if you like
Donald Trump for president.
that's just what I've seen. Like
Yeah.
that's why I don't do the Twitter thing anymore. Like people like it's like there's good for like
Chosen one,
both.
Trump
That's how I
24.
look at it.
Pipe
It's
down,
not Twitter. It's
chosen
X.
one.
It's X, not Twitter, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's X.
Oh,
give it
damn.
time,
I
right?
just got busted.
It does start with
Become a
X,
tweeter.
yeah.
I'll always call it Twitter, but yeah, you're right. It's
I know, me
X.
too. I call it Twitter. I'm just messing with you, Bruce. I'm just messing with you.
So George, how you feeling, man? Are you still what was it that you guys had? I heard Heidi or you what was
Stomach
it? You guys ate
flu.
dirty ice cream?
No, that was Mike that
It
eats
was
dirty
me.
ice cream. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
you
we got
got
the
sick.
stomach. We got a stomach flu. So
Okay.
more and likely, my guess right now, because we thought it was the chicken that we got a day or two before, and the chicken I ate again. I had healed pretty quick, surprisingly, with the lupus because my autoimmune system issues, and it was fine. So I think it's the water. Something happened in Angeles City where hundreds of cases start coming up in January, and it's been continuing. And there's been lots of reports that there were illegal pipes put in, or like they're tapping into the water throughout the area. And there's something like our water recently changed to where, I don't know, we both agreed that there's something different with the water. It smells bad.
Well, the water in this location, be aware it's different per location.
Mhm.
In this location, it used to be chlorinated water that comes out of the tap.
Not that we drank it. We have a
I half jokingly, I said keyword half jokingly. I really don't think I'm probably more accurate than this. I said somebody probably overspent the budget on something else on chlorinating tablets to
they
treat
spent
the
that
water.
money somewhere else, Mike.
Right. Because now the water's not chlorinated anymore. And
It's not fluorinated either.
yeah, so
It's
yeah, it you take things for granted when you're used to the chlorine smell, because a lot of people aren't aware that chlorine smell equates to clean. I mean, in your head, it's your brain, equates chlorine to clean, but so now the water smells kind of like pipe water. If that makes any
so
sense.
it was the norovirus.
My pool that I just drained that I'm getting rid of. Okay. I accidentally kind of overdid it, and I was in there swimming one day, and I heard Mike the other day talking about, hey, you guys, have your mouth open, taking a shower. Well, I remember taking a big amount of fluoride from that, and I think it was maybe an hour later, I was in my bathroom throwing up. And I was like, what the hell? I couldn't figure out. And then I'd realized I had took basically a mouthful of fluoride about, 3 or 4 times. I kept, just not even thinking about it. Right. And I just got sicker than a dog.
Well, it could happen.
I don't touch my pool. I have a pool guy to do that stuff. I suck at cleaning the pool. I'll rather pay a pool guy to do my pool just because I'll mess it up. But talking about pool, I have to, man, my pump in my pool is finally dead.
Oh
It's
man,
gonna be a $7,000 job.
you better
Uh,
buy a
right.
couple ducks to circulate that water, man.
Yeah, no
Seven
doubt.
$7,000 to get a new one just because I was like, seriously. I was like, damn it,
Yeah, my sister had a swimming pool there in Florida, and the upkeep, I think hers finally went down. So she had already sold the house, and she's in Ohio, back in the Ohio area. But I remember the maintenance. She says, because I talked about buying a house in Florida, before I met George, and she's like, "Yeah, but there's so much upkeep. You don't want a pool if you're looking for a place, and it can be expensive."
Well,
That's when I was talking
Yeah,
about buying or taking on my grandmother's place and
oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So after my grandmother passed away, there was an inheritance.
And that's why here they have the Philippine full pool.
Oh my God.
You don't want to pay for a pump, just drain
Hey,
it.
hey George, have you seen the scandal in the Philippines right now about a pool? The pool scandal?
Uh-uh.
You haven't
What's
seen
up
it? The one in Bohol?
No.
You haven't seen it? It's all over the Philippines right now. What's wrong with you? You're in the Philippines.
We've been,
So
you talking about, did it just come up in the last couple of days? Because probably
yeah,
since last
past 40
Saturday, we've been
past
sleeping almost most
past
of the
48
day.
hours. So you guys know Chocolate
Oh,
Hills, right? In
Yes.
Bohol.
Yeah.
Somebody got approved to put a ugly looking resort in the Chocolate Hills.
Wait, what?
I'm not joking. In Chocolate Hills, and that's supposed to be a UNESCO site. You're not supposed to touch it and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's like
but
putting a Hilton in the middle of the Yellowstone Park.
yeah, so it's ugly as heck looking. All these different colors. Filipinos are mad, and somebody's in trouble right now because they approved it, but they found out that there's no they didn't do a land study. So somebody paid money, and the funny part is a foreigner is partial owner of this site.
Oh no.
And so a foreigner owns a percentage of this, and so now they're looking into literally having it torn down. It's
Wow.
ugly. Look it up after this. It's crazy.
Chocolate Hills.
You stay still, be good.
I was
There
like,
you go.
and then
Yeah,
they say
they
it's
better
bad for me
tear
to
it
steal
down,
a
that's for sure.
Tarsiers.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take.
Wow.
Oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna grab me a Tarsier one of these days.
Aw.
What you talking about, Willis? Hey, Uncle Mike. She'll come and clean your pool.
Yeah, probably poop in my pool. Put a Snicker bar in there.
Hey, no, she's trained. We have her trained. Chloe's a good girl. She's our new roaming reporter. Hey, let me see her backpack. George has got an idea that we're gonna send her down to you're gonna send her down to the store.
We're gonna put money in here with a note and send her out to the Sari store.
Hilarious.
So she's got
They'll
a
send that dog
backpack.
back without anything and take the money.
Right. That's what I was just.
So it's a leash set for her. And yeah, we're gonna put the money in and send her down to pick up eggs and stuff.
Go save the city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody did that with a drone, and then they sent the drone to the Sari store. Have you seen that video? It's a while back.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it had a note like, please,
Sounds like something George would do.
Right.
I thought that was brilliant. I was like, oh snap, that's like Amazon delivery.
Ooh. Yeah. So I was trying to think. There was something else about. There was another channel, and I'm not going to do a shout out on that one, but they actually did probably about 10, 12 days ago. They covered us, and it was weird because they clearly stated that it was an American female living in the Philippines, married to a Filipino that does live streams. Is your ear still hurting, Mike?
No, I have an earpiece.
I'll just check. Okay, because I know your ears were hurting.
Yeah, it was this one. It was this one.
I couldn't see it. Okay.
That's why I don't put anything in this here.
And I'm like, well, there's only so many American female expats here that are living here, and then has a Filipino husband in that live stream. That's why we say we're about one of the longest that are actually doing it, and they were specific about things, right? And they're like, "Well, it's not Philippine Antics," and I'm like, "Okay, well, that's who they're talking about," because they were being specific about George, but they spent their entire thing ragging afterwards on American women. And then I'm like, this guy's wife is about half his age, which really doesn't like really pertain to the subject, but he was going on about how bad they are in the US and how respectful they are here and how they keep a, clean house and they do this and they're traditional and all of that. And it also to me fed the thoughts that every Filipina is like that. And it's kind of like not
But
all
they
Western
are.
women are the same either.
Joking.
And but he was just putting him down, and that's what just brought that thought through my head again is, okay, so you're talking about your daughter, your mother, all these other women. And I think a lot of these guys, not all, but most of these older ones that are over here with the younger wives, I bet you somebody like Gio, if he had a chance, he probably would have stayed with his wife. So, but yet, some of them actually complain about their wives. So,
I think that maybe that they don't make that the problem is sometimes they've already made their point on a previous video, and so sometimes when they make the new video, they don't go back to the previous point and stuff like that. I think that in general, when they talk about women, and I don't know who you're talking about, but in general, I think they're talking about women that are single or women that are, in the dating market, right? That's typically
yeah,
what a lot of these guys are really talking about, that a lot of women are just, Western women are just different in regards for the women that are in the dating market. But one thing that, when you look into that, most of the time is a lot of the guys are literally saying the girls that they want are like that, not the girls that they don't want. Right? They're gonna say the girls that they want are this way. And the dating market is very is a little toxic in the West. There is
yeah,
that existence.
sure.
But it's typically in regards for a lot of the women that the guys give attention towards. So, it's like but then what happens is they think that they can come to the Philippines and then they get those women they want. It's like they want that traditional, conservative, but a freak in the bed. And one thing I definitely know is if you have a freak in the bed, she's been around.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're
Well,
gonna get someone who's with a couple guys owning their life, or even just one, that is gonna be top notch gurgler and rider and ride or die chick. You're just not gonna get that. It's not true. She's been through a few if she's good at what she does,
mhm.
or she's been in a long-term relationship with someone for a long period of time that she truly cared about, so she wanted to do that stuff. So it's like sometimes people unfortunately kind of tricks their brain to what they want to believe in. And let's be honest, if we look at in a far average of a lot of the, you'll say, vloggers, the women that they're with, those girls were freaks in their lives.
Well, the other vlogger that I'm thinking about a while back said that his wife doesn't disrespect him, and he was going on about all that stuff. And for me personally, I feel that all that stuff doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, that person would have chose that wife that's half his age regardless. I think it's because they love him for them, and I think they put up with more stuff than they're admitting to these average men while they're vlogging, because it's I don't know. It's I think they wouldn't, and I think a lot of these women show the respect for the guys, and there are some that may not. I mean, at one point I thought he said that there were some issues, like there were boundary issues and this and that. And I think a lot of people in relationships crosses those. But I think specifically some of these women see these guys as a father figure, and so they don't disrespect their elders if they are good girls or if they're not good girls, or and a
Yeah.
lot of them aren't going to kill their money either. So I mean, a
Oh no,
lot of
a
them
lot of
go
them
with
a lot of them
income.
would kill their money. A lot of them would kill their money for somebody
Oh
with
yeah.
better options. So you know,
Well, move on. I'm talking about the person that they're with. That's why they're showing respect. They're not gonna like they're not gonna kill the relationship they're in for more money. Yes, but
Right. That's the money
what I'm
train.
saying is Filipinas are the same. I'm not downing Filipinas in a whole. What I'm saying is where there's toxicity in the West, that's a trait by women all over the world. It just doesn't stop in the West. Yes, we're spoiled there. Yes, things happen. We got used to a certain way and all that, but it happens here too. Kind of like, scams happen
yes,
everywhere. And
yes, it happens. The thing that the Filipinas have an advantage of over Western women is that, for me, from what I'm seeing, is that Filipinas have a higher femininity rating, though. Even if they're, you can even say, if you just go
no,
look at this,
I'll agree on that part.
yeah,
Yeah, which
you,
attracts men.
yeah, even a hoe in the Philippines has a higher femininity rating than a hoe in America.
I'll agree on that. So yeah, no man wants to be yelled at or feel, or they're bold or outgoing. And when I say outgoing, some of them, well, that means some of them aren't feminine, but
Yeah, and a good comparison is that you see in America, or and I'll speak for America in general, is that a lot of women are pushing. I wouldn't cook for a man. I wouldn't make a sandwich for a man. I'm not going to do this. A man should do this, this, and that, right? And let's say she's a 304. Where on the other hand is you have a Filipino who's a 304, but she'll cook and clean still, and she'll be willing to cook and clean, right? There's a higher chance for that.
A girl that
well,
did a little bit of that.
And that's where it's unfortunate for a lot of guys, right? Because they compare women, and when you compare two things, an apple and orange, you're gonna have some problems, because that's why when they come to the Philippines and then they still end up with a 304, but then all of a sudden the Filipina cooks for them, cleans for them, the guy's like, oh my god, see, they don't do this in the States. That's the bare minimum access for a woman, is that she's willing to do that for you.
see, I was telling George that I believe it comes down to one thing. Even if they can cook and clean, or whether they're feminine or not, if they take care of their personal needs, which isn't always just cooking. Let's say she doesn't cook and takes care of his personal needs, and he just likes the way she looks, he's going to keep her anyways, whether she's Western or not.
Yeah, because guys are very basic.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the common argument that you can use for a lot of, you can even say Western women, but then it doesn't apply much in the Philippines, right? So like, you ask a toxic woman, in the US, to be like, what do you bring to the table? Right? Because I'll tell a woman this, right? If she, let's say, for example, I have a very, very toxic feminist in front of me, and my argument would be this. I'm like, what else use a woman is in my life if I can pay for a housekeeper, pay for a cook, or have food delivered? Okay. If I want to, I can easily get punani if I want to, or even to the part where I can pay for it. What else can you add to my value? And when you do that to a woman, it messes them up, because there's nothing else that they can say that they can add.
Yeah, but there's companionship, Mike, overall. Men are lonely. It doesn't matter. There's some that like that toxicity. They want that combativeness.
I can get companionship. Like, what do you mean by companionship? Somebody that's going to be there with me? I can call. I can get someone. I can pay for someone. What else does a woman add other than that?
Well, see, that's the problem you face. It's not. I'm not talking about Mike in particular. The problem that most of these people face, or gentlemen face, is they don't think past their little head. And like Mike said, what value can they add to them? They don't even get to that state.
I don't think they think hard like you do, Mike, in the stages of that.
Correct.
I think a lot of them, like my dad, and I'm not saying he's a simple man. He's a simple man, a steel worker, a hard worker. For him, it would have been, can he do that? Yes. Can he come here and, use his check and marry a woman that's going to take care of him? Yes. Or the same with whether they're toxic or not. It would come down to they want to know that I mean, calling somebody, or like you say, online, you might have a relationship or where you speak to people. I still think it comes down to, it's kind of like me and George. Okay. And I want to put that out there. Everything that you're saying, I do for George, but people probably don't think so because we're butting heads on air all the time. George would not have married me otherwise. People seem to think he's the pussycat in the relationship and that there has to be one bender or the other. George cooks, I cook a lot, I clean, he cleans, I mean, there's the companionship, there's watching movies, there's going out and doing things, there's, and I want somebody to grow old with. There's kind of like something there in the end. And I agree that the women are more feminine here. They wouldn't talk back, but then I start thinking about all the things that I've been through. Like, when my ex-husbands weren't working, I was the one working, taking care of the kids, out doing the shopping, driving. I'm independent. What are the things they did? Did they cheat on me? Were they out there drinking all the time? All these different things combined to why Western women sometimes, I'm not making excuses for all of them, because there are toxic women. Have I been toxic at times? I'm going to say yes. When I get super angry and different things are going on, my emotions 100% get the best of me. But it's the actual life that I've been through. I think each individual woman, kind of like me, and the women here in the Philippines are all individuals. I mean, I'm kind of throwing that, but on one hand, I don't believe in all that feminism, but I do believe in the women that have worked hard. Kind of like when I think about, the other vloggers, I'm going to mention them again, like Gio and Old Dog, and some of the ones that have been married. What did those guys do on that side of their marriage where it got to that point? And a lot of them, the guys that I've seen actually will just always point back towards this type of woman in the West, but it is the individual experience. So George would have never married me otherwise.
See,
So I
feminism
had a
only exists in an air-conditioned room.
So what?
Feminism only exists in an air-conditioned room.
Hey,
Okay. Hey, what's
That-
up,
that's-
man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
how's it going?
Feminism only exists in an air-conditioned room for the fact that in let's say, for example, America, air conditions everywhere, right? But when the heat's there, when the times are rough, when things need to happen, that's when feminism goes out the door, because that's when men right there is needed, right? And so and so what we see in the West, I'm not saying it exists in the Philippines too, because you do hear this, but it's a lot hard.
Yeah, they just had an entire march about that down in Manila recently.
Yeah, I mean
that's
the Gabriela just did their march, right? So the thing that people don't understand is, like, let's look at the basics of things, right? In the Philippines, even if you type these words online, and I've done it, I tried to do my research, independent woman Filipina, right? You do that search in the Philippines, all you're going to find, and by far majority, is independent women Filipina, but they're in other countries.
Yeah,
It's
they're
rare
usually
that you're
like
going to see that
OFW.
when it comes to the Philippines, but you're going to see that happening so much when it comes to America. So when a woman screams that she's an independent woman, what is she independent from? From men. So that's all
Well,
it is. That's why
because
she's
you
independent.
have to, kind of like me when I just said that. I had to grow up
Yeah,
early,
and
had to work because
yeah,
they
yeah.
wouldn't, had to. I mean, it just came out of necessity. The same with Filipinos. Same with them here. They do it
Yeah.
because, like the cooking, cleaning, and they were raised around somebody like their mother, and they respect the elders, so they kind of follow in that shoes of taking care of their man and learning all that too.
And that's the thing, and that's where a lot of guys do have that unfortunate kind of separation, right? But then I also say, for a lot of guys that complain about Western women, my question to those guys is, when's the last time you actually went out there and looked for women and dated them? Right? You have a lot of these guys who complain about women that's in the Philippines or going to the Philippines, but then when you ask, when's the last time you actually asked a girl out? When's the last time that you actually went on a date with a girl? When's the last time you did this with a girl? When's the last time that you saw a beautiful woman, the type of woman that you want in the Philippines, in your country? So if you want a 25-year-old in the Philippines and you're 60 years old, when's the last time that you asked a 25-year-old in, let's say you're in America, let's say you're in California, When's the last time you asked a 25-year-old good-looking woman in California out? To be fair. And most of these guys will say never. Most of these guys say that the last time they asked a girl out was 10 years ago. So with those guys that are having those moments of saying bad stuff to women in the West, I say to them, you have no right to talk bad about women in the West when you have not even approached a woman in the longest period of time. You can't talk bad. Well, I see it in video. I see it here. I see it there. Like, doesn't matter. We can see whatever we choose to see online. We're going to be fed what we want to be fed online. And sometimes we're fed stuff online.
Well, and part of it's the median age. I mean, the older a person gets, the more baggage they accumulate. And the median American is, I think, 37 years old, whereas the median Filipino is like 25. So at 31, you know, I'm 31 now. If I go out and try to date a woman my age, I expect she's gone through some bad breakups. She may be divorced. She may have children from a previous relationship. I have my own baggage. I don't have children from a previous relationship, but certainly I've been through some nasty breakups.
Understanding.
Whereas they feel that, okay, well, if I go to the Philippines or Thailand and I meet a woman, she may be more okay with a, say, 5, 6, 7 year age gap, but also she may not have the same amount of baggage that somebody that's my age would have. So I think that's one thing that comes into play there. I do agree with you, Mike, that you have to try. I mean, you can't say I'm unhappy with my results. Well, did you try? Well, no, I didn't try, but still. And I've had that disagreement with guys back in my home country, even in my hometown, where they've been single for like years and years. And I'm like, well, how often do you even strike up a conversation with a woman? Oh, well, I would never do that. Well, you have to just accept your results then. It's like, if you don't at least try, I mean, it's like with anything in life, you have to risk looking like an idiot to get some good results. I'm sure, you know, with all of our channels here, when we started out, we were trying to figure things out. We didn't know about cameras. We didn't know about audio. We didn't know about what guests would enjoy or what viewers would enjoy. So I think they have a point, but they just don't go far enough. They run into that roadblock and then they just stop. And they'd be a lot happier, even just making friends. I mean, I think even just making female friends, it's great to go out and practice talking to people. And then some of that's the fault of COVID. I mean, we had well over a year where we just sat in our houses and apartments. We were instructed, hey, don't go talk to people. Stay away from people. You're going to get some kind of illness. You're going to give them some kind of illness. You're going to take out grandma. If you go out and socialize, you're going to take out grandma. So yeah, it's some of it's cultural, but then some of it also is individual responsibility, where you have to just put yourself out there.
So, like you were just saying, I used to be like, afraid and stuff to just go talk, but like years ago, it was when I was younger, I could talk a lot better. Then it kind of like, I started getting shy with some people. You try to say hi, then they just like kind of look at you stupid, like, we don't know you. Who are you? Why are you saying hi to us? Because America's that way. But now, I just go up. I don't care. If somebody doesn't like me, I just don't care. Who cares? You know what? Hello, how you doing? And again, you go up to men, women, whatever. And I don't have a problem. I could go in the mall right now and go say, to 100 girls, and I'll probably get rejected probably by a lot of them, but who cares?
Right. And I think age plays a difference in that too. So kind of like I'm set in my ways. I mean, me and Georgia have been married and together over almost 5 years. So even to go in 5 years to now, I've already changed in the last 5 years, and everybody has their tolerance rate and the way they're going to be and their independence and all that, male or female. And I get the game is really rough right now. My son just got married what's it been, close to a year.
I know, right?
And it's, he said the game was rough out there, but he was a player too for a long time. But I get it. I mean, I get that.
So it's easier. Is it easier there? The big question. George,
many factors play whether it's easier here.
You guys have all been to the U.S. It's a lot easier in the Asian countries, right? To talk to people.
Well, I've I've also found in the West that it was easier for me to find flings and fun times. But when it came around to, hey, are you open to something more serious? Oh no, I'm just here to have fun. And so in Asia, I feel broadly speaking that it's easier to find somebody who's looking for a more serious relationship.
Serious, yeah.
Um, yeah, somebody who wants to potentially get married, potentially have children. Where in the West, you know, because economic necessity, women have to work. There's unless you're a you're married to a very wealthy man, you're married to a lawyer that makes 600-700K a year, maybe a CEO, a doctor, somebody that's a really high powered guy, you're going to have to work as a woman.
Yeah,
So
it
a lot of
takes
them
two.
are in this
It
position where
still
they have
does
to
here
compete
now
with
more than
men.
ever.
Oh yeah, yeah. As countries develop and get more expensive, it's going to necessitate both partners working. There's this writer I follow, and he said, "Well, back in the day, you know, dad could support the family on one income. Then in the '70s, it took mom and dad working to support the family, and now you got man and woman working, and they can't afford to have kids. So as the economy grows, more and more people are priced out." And it's really unfortunate. I mean, I think it's unfortunate that women are in this position where they have to compete with men. They have to. I mean, you see it in legal offices, also in the medical profession, also in the business world, where they might want to put time into a relationship, but they feel like, look, if I work extra hours, that's going to make the difference between me making partner or getting that managerial promotion versus my coworker getting that. So I think that's part of the equation as well, is that the dynamic has changed a lot.
Yeah. Also, don't forget with the
Yeah.
fact that real estate, real estate and a lot of the economy wise, or in like regards to, say, for example, Target or Walmart, or just being real estate as well. It favors these type of large things in order to have single motherhood, to have single women, to have independent women, right? So that's why they're going to feed to that, and people don't even understand, because women women are known to have more ownership of homes than men. There are more single women with ownerships of houses than men. If you have women with their house and a men with their house, whatever, or their condo, that means, Target can sell 2 toasters instead of 1, like back in the days. Right. So you have to understand that, even how the things and systems are working is based regarding that you want to, promote single motherhood. And, let's understand the fact that the welfare is based on promoting single motherhood. Don't be with men because you get more money if you're single. And so that's what happened to America. So that's why, having no fault marriages are pushed, because also states make money depending on the amount of, what do you call this thing? Child support and alimony comes into that state. That particular state makes more money. People don't understand that, right? So that's why states are going to judges. There's those systems that's put in place. And so it's funny how, like, then you have a bunch of guys coming from other countries. So and we'll just say America for now, in the general sense. And you start seeing these guys, man, they should allow abortion. I mean, not abortion. Let's not even do abortion yet. They should allow divorce in the Philippines. They should allow divorce in the Philippines. And when you hear a lot of these guys in the comment section complaining that there should be divorce in the Philippines, what does that mean? That's because you're talking to a Filipina that needs to get annulled. That means those are the type of women that you're targeting.
Yeah.
That's why you want it approved. So stop lying to yourselves. And the thing is, it's funny. These same men, far average, right? You see in the comment section, you see in their own channels that are talking about this. They complain about women in the West, yet they're doing the same system. They're doing the same routines that caused feminism to actually get toxic in America. And they're doing it in the Philippines now. The same attitude, the same misogynistic, because let's be honest, there's a lot of misogyny going on with a lot of these channels.
Yeah.
Okay. So you cannot unlook at it. Now, you want to do that, do it. But in my end, you have every right to do what you want to do. It's your channel, but you cannot complain that you're not, you can't complain. You can't complain when you're doing things that are causing problems, and then they lie to themselves with all this thing. I'm going to get a young girl because, she's less run through. Well, by far average, with studies that we're seeing right now, younger women have had more sexual partners than the older women. So if you're ending up with somebody who's 20-year-old, more than likely, per studies, that 20-year-old had more sexual partners than the girl that's 35, who's maybe been with, long-term relationships, one guy only. And the question is, like, what counts as a girl being used up? A girl that's been used up by 5 guys, or a girl that got used by maybe one guy that she was in a long relationship in?
Yeah,
Like,
George.
how do you calculate those particular situations?
Yeah.
And
How about don't get married to a Filipino if you want to complain about it? How about if you you want to go and screw women? How about you go find yourself a hooker in the U.S.? All right,
no, hookers in the U.S. are dirty, or
listen,
dirtier.
but-
We'll just say that.
Well,
Dirtier.
I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but
I just wouldn't want to be
when
in the
you're going
dating
to the
world.
Philippines and knocking women up, and we don't have to say names, and it's not just that person, it's majority of people that say, well, I'm going to Asia for vacation, and I'm going to screw
make you
every girl
happy?
I can see, and I'm going to knock her up.
I got sunshine.
Anyways,
Well-
jump down. Heidi, George, Mike. I forgot
Well-
your name. What's your name, bro?
Nice to see you again, Bruce. I'm
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
It's Alex.
Alex. It's nice to see you guys again, man. I'll see you guys soon.
Later, dude.
All right. Be good.
Yeah.
Take care.
Well, I always look at the dating world as like kicking tires and buying a car. Or just kicking tires, and
George is a player.
So what? Get something with some 7,000 miles or something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
right, and okay.
George likes a few
like-
kids. hanging
Let's
on
say
the
Mike
side.
says,
Like
"Well,
you.
this is a Porsche, and it's new, but it has like 200,000 miles on it." The way I see it, it's new to me.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I just made a video, right?
New to me.
You
It
know,
looks good to me.
Oh yeah.
George.
I just made a video. I don't know when I'm gonna launch it. I don't know if I should launch it. I'll launch it. I'm not too sure. It's one of those videos that I'm like, am I gonna launch this video? Am I gonna get in trouble in it? Right?
Believe me, George is the voice of reason, because I would have released a lot more. And George says, "You can't do
Okay.
that." We fight the rest of the day about
I'll let you watch it before I release it, George. How about that? You can give me your thing.
Yeah, because George is like
So-
a heavy PR here.
Okay.
I still get some stuff by though.
So the title of this video, okay, this is the why I might get in trouble. Okay, it's called the Filipina Secrets.
Oh, snap.
Oh snap.
All right,
George
Filipina
knows all.
Secrets of a fake virginity.
Oh snap!
Oh dang! I haven't heard that in a while.
And then I'm going to fully
Whoa.
explain how because it's more known in the province, a little secret that Filipinas have to make it seem like they're still a virgin.
Show Mike his bananas.
This is some secret Filipino thing that Filipinos do in the province.
Oh,
And so a lot of these guys saying, "Oh, I got myself a 31-year-old virgin." I'm like, okay, especially from the province, more than likely not. So, so there's actually a secret that Filipinas are known to do to make it seem like they're a virgin, and it's actually used by these fake healers. It's a mumbo jumbo thing, and it actually does work.
Yeah.
So,
no.
A
Yeah.
lot
no,
of these
it's-
guys think that they have one.
it's a- no, this is a real thing. It's a real thing. Actually, you guys remember I used to do I actually still have some clips but I never release them, where I talk to random women, or men, may jowa ka ba, which means do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? There's one point in time when I said that, it says may jowa ka ba, and then somebody in the background yelled, I was in the market, it says, Virgin yan, nung nabait, which means she was a virgin at birth. For those of you guys, again, here in the Philippines, that's an insult. That means it's the direct opposite.
I might actually, I might get in trouble with that video. I might have Filipinos come after me in regards to the fact, but they can't deny the truth because I'm going to show the science on it. I'm going to show how it's used. I'm going to show where it's used. I'm going to show. I'm going to go break it down. And what's going to happen to that video is guys are going to question their Filipina, and then there's going to be guys that's going to be like, "Girl, I need you to do this."
Here's the thing, Mike. They still do that?
Oh yeah.
God dang.
Until this very moment.
This is
like it's gonna.
This is stuff that you won't learn. You know what I mean? Online. That's what I'm saying.
You won't learn it from the other channels.
And I haven't heard this. Gee, many crickets. This is really old school.
I'm gonna show how it's done by the faith healers. I'm gonna show how it's done by a lot, how to do it right, how to do it wrong. we're gonna have an education. Like when I finished a video literally 2 days ago, and I was like talking to Miyagi about it. I was like, "Bro, I'm gonna do this," and he's like, "Oh boy," and so like people, because like there's so many guys. Like the one guy, because it pissed me off. One guy goes, I'm a, what do you think about a 31 virgin? I was like, highly likely not, but I was like, that doesn't mean that they don't exist, right? And then his reason why she was a V, she had her V card still, was because it was hard for him to put it in. And I go, where's she from? And I'm like, the funny part is, I guessed where she's from. That's even far worse. The fact I guessed what city she's from. So I'm just saying, you guys got to be careful, You guys got to be careful. I'm just trying to say, you got to be careful.
Yeah, see, that's what PH Expat Pepper says. A virgin girl that can rodeo ride like a champ and knows all the moves. There you go. Cowgirl.
You go eat. I'm not bringing you up.
Right. Here's the Chocolate Hills thing. Chocolate Hills.
Oh, you got the picture?
National landmark.
You found it, Georgie? Yeah, that's the one. Look how ugly that is. Look how they messed that up.
I did see that.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was real.
Oh, I know. It's so bad. I mean, look how it just, and then that's the picture taken from, when you're up in the right close by the view, because there's that, that ledge where you can go to take pictures of the Chocolate Hills. So from the they say close, it's not really, that's the full view of the ledge, but from the ledge you can see it, and it's just disgusting. And I can't believe that they allowed it. It's a UNESCO site. It's a heritage site. So why was it allowed?
Yeah, for those of you again who are not familiar with Chocolate Hills is located in Bohol. They're actually not technically real hills. They're big giant structures of limestone that naturally occurred. They just call them Chocolate Hills because depending on the season, they turn brownish, so they look like big giant Hershey's Kisses.
Okay.
But see, right now they're kind of greenish, brownish.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's Chocolate Hills, Bohol. Also another national monument that you guys should probably see is here. It is. It's
I want to see that now.
7 Evelyn, the Sari store.
Hey, I bought stock in that. I invested in 7 Evelyn.
7 Evelyn.
It's not real?
It's real.
It's real, but it's not 7-Eleven.
Love that.
It's 7 Evelyn.
Like there's so many of those. Like I've seen, and then a lot of that stuff is like they'll have like some nasty name on it. Like there's some there's some sexual connotations in the
ones you've seen on the Kentucky Fried Chicken?
KFC, Kuya's Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Oh no, they have a lot of really funny stories.
I think it's hilarious and cute at the same time. You'll see something that almost looks like the same emblems here in Asia, and it's like a total steal. Oh boy. Well, it looks like we didn't get any real trolls to join. At least Mike dropped by.
7 Evelyn.
Thanks, Mike.
I know I'm the biggest troll. Like, and unfortunately, that's what
No,
people say.
you're like a truth spinner, and I don't think that people like that you just don't speak. You actually get into their heads, and it just like
it pisses them off. I was like, come on. I was like, grow. Yeah, it's like, that's why I compare a majority of expats who are running to the Philippines and stuff like that are the same people that caused the problem in America. It's just that
Yeah.
because those are the thought process that happens, and then they run elsewhere to like infect it pretty much with the it's like
There you go.
you don't it's like you're worried about bringing a Filipina in your country. No, just be worried the fact you're with a Filipina because you're gonna be the one that infects her even worse. And I'm not talking about venereal diseases. I'm talking about your just look at a good example is like my favorite troll right now, John, the guy with the eggplant in his face and stuff like that, Mr. Perez Hilton, right? I mean,
We'll let him in
imagine
today if he's trolling the room.
just imagine what's gonna
Love those
happen
trolls.
to his baby mama when the next time she dates someone. She's gonna end up with a foreigner again. We just know that. And just imagine what's gonna happen. I mean,
Hey,
it's snap.
hey, Mike, do this for me.
What's up?
Explain a short scenario about who he is, and they can go look at the videos on your channel when you
Oh,
refer to.
so pretty much I encountered him over at Philly's channel, and he's just he was just whining and complaining about his Filipina and stuff like that. And then I was like, well, you caused that. I was like, it's your fault. I was like, you created an impoverished child and stuff like that. Because and then the thing though is he's just against it, mad, upset about it. But then when he starts opening up his mouth, he admits that he he left the girl when he found out she was pregnant. Then he comes back a year later, and then now he's mad that the Filipina won't show his daughter how to love him. And he's just upset because he's just projecting his own inner problems that happen, and you see that. And sometimes it's like that's where guys need to avoid you projecting your own inner demons or your own inner experiences and problems when it comes to your experiences with Western women. You can apply that towards Filipinas. And in a best way to kind of explain things is just don't bring your past problems, your past experiences, your past judgment on the next relationship. Let's not even say American Western women to a Filipina. Don't bring, that poison that happened in the other relationship to the new relationship, because you have to give that woman a shot. You have to give her an opportunity, just like how guys want women to give them an opportunity. You have to give that woman an opportunity. If you can, first of all, remove all the red flags, you passed all those, get into a relationship, you have to get that. And even if you found a good woman, shit, I've had lots of good women that I've had the relationship ended because there was a point where no matter how everything was good, there gets a point where you're going to have to disagree on certain things. And if that's not good for you to continue on a relationship, then you can't. I've tried dating Muslim women. I've dated a couple of Muslim women, and it's great and all. Then it gets to the point once you've been in a relationship, you start finding out, okay, wait a minute. I really like this girl. I think I want to get with her, but hold on, let's talk about what's going to happen if we have children.
Yeah.
Can I teach them my religion? Can I do this? And so that's why, in a way, religion is an important thing to bring up early on.
For sure.
You might as well mess it up early and say, okay, it's not going to work out later on, because if that is important for you, it's going to cause problems later on. People, it's like people that tries to a Republican dating a Democrat. One of the biggest top reasons of divorces as well. Okay, political, differences. And so, if you're truly in that, and she's truly in that, her beliefs, you're going to have problems, because how are you going to raise the children? Are they going to be Republicans? Are they going to be Democrats? What are you going to have them watch? CNN, or are you going to let them watch this? What are you going to indoctrinate your children in the future, if that's what you want to get into in a relationship with? So it's like people need to really just realize that, in the end, just leave your past in the past. Don't bring it to the next relationship, because damn, it's going to cause problems.
Right. And again, like Mike says, in religion, certain cultures you can gap, but religion, Muslim religion, again, it's more restrictive than most religions I'm familiar with, because again, I've dated different religions and races and whatever. But also,
Mhm.
like Mike also said, it came to the point of the children. Point is, talk about if you want or don't want children, if you can or cannot have children.
For most of you guys aren't aware that 2 of my husbands were Muslim. So, and I was a very submissive wife, took care of them, waited on them, cleaned their feet, that kind of stuff. Maybe that's another reason I broke free with George and some other, situations. But yes.
Which
2 of my
number
husbands-
which number were you? 1 to 10. Which wife were you?
Probably when I went to his friend's house, family members, and went to the mosque with him, I covered. And I cooked all meals. I did everything a Muslim wife. I mean, I did that pretty much for all my husbands. And I still do stuff like that for George. So a lot of people aren't aware how much I do for George. I just, I'm still actually just outspoken also. But no, I'm 2 of my husbands, and my son is Muslim. So
Can I answer
very
Chosen one
active.
really fast? You guys mind?
Do what?
Can I answer that the comment by Chosen one?
And
Oh,
so with the Muslim, as far as being Muslim, there is a lot of differences culturally, and a lot of people, when they bring their mentality from the West and they come over to the Philippines and they marry an Asian woman or guy, you still have to hold all the respect for the cultures and stuff.
Well, Heidi, can I
It is
quickly
what
ask
it
you
is.
something before Mick takes that comment? So it's just short. How many wives can a Muslim have?
A Muslim can have multiple wives only if he can afford the multiple wives. So if, let's say, for example, let's say a Muslim can give $80,000 worth of things for one wife, he better be able to
But Mick,
replicate.
I was
that.
asking Heidi. I was
Oh,
asking
I'm
Heidi.
just asking.
So, right, Mike,
I know Muslim stuff.
I have to tell you, you're incorrect on that because I got this straight from the Imam himself. Okay, at the mosque, what it is he can have multiple wives. Usually, they only take on 3 or so, but that is if they can be fair to the wife. An amount of
That's what. Yeah.
money is not what's equal. They have to be able to be fair in the eyes of Allah in order to be fair to all of them. So some of them, if they financially can't take them on, of course they won't. But also they try to, they have to be fair to all the wives is the biggest rule.
Yeah,
They
and so
have
fair.
to.
I would say
That
fairness
comes
sometimes
first.
ends up with money. If one has a house, the other one has to be also in the
Now, will
house.
they
and stuff
take them
like that.
on and have 4 and 5 wives? The answer is yes. But
Mhm.
as far as, what the religion calls for, and the ones that I was married to just wouldn't. It just depends on the culture. Like they were both Egyptians. So it was kind of what I call the easygoing sector. So yeah. And then of course the 2 different types of Muslims would make a difference too. The Sunni and the Shia. So he was Sunni.
Mm.
But
So that's probably things that a lot of people aren't aware, and probably not that I took it super personal that regular guy actually said that about the girl. If it had been the religion for me did and didn't make a difference when he actually said that about her body parts and focused in on her and everything, because I seen it as whether she was Christian or whatever. But on top of that, the woman was conservative, so it kind of it was raised around and some of the nicest people in the world there in Egypt. So, but
Mick,
yeah.
can I express some disagreements with your actions over the past
Sure.
week? Are you comfortable with that?
yeah,
So I disagree with you playing the daughter's conversation for a start, even though she gave you the permission. I think that's stepping the line. And I also disagree with you not taking the wife's thumbnail down. Those are the 2 things which I completely disagree with what you've done.
I can completely understand how you would say that because there's going to be the 2 sides of things. In regards for the daughter agreeing to put it out, she wanted to put it out. She wanted to say her side. I think that there is that fairness to be put out there. Now some people may agree, some people may disagree in that. Perfectly fine. I think that's a respectable thing to say. And the reason why I would say that is because number one is she has the right to put her side. Now the thing though is Steve put his information out there, right? He allowed to be interviewed. He allowed to, deny certain things and that. So she should also have that right. And then the thing though is coming to the part of that, what we don't see a lot or hear a lot are the ones that are affected back home in a way. There are children that's left behind. There are grandkids that left behind. And then let's be honest, the grandkid is the one that found grandpa.
Well, slow down. I agree with the content, but I don't agree with what you actually did. Like, as an example, say I was to image search everyone that's on the current stream and then contact all their family members and ask them for an interview and then put that public. You'd feel like shit. You'd be upset. You'd feel terrible. Now, I do understand that girl contacted you. I do understand that part. But I still think it was poor form. It's not something that I would do anyway. And I'm not sure how many people agree with me and how many people disagree with me. I have no idea. But it's just what I think of the situation.
I think that there's going to be a fair share of both sides. And the thing though is, let's just be honest, like in the far average of things, if people don't want to offend people, like you in a way, to have conversations, to have an open forum of things, and to say things, you are going to offend some people, and then you're not going to offend some people. That's the risk that happens to be able to talk, right? Is to have that fairness, that there's going to be some people that agrees, me talking to you, like for example, at this very moment, you and I are talking, right? You're saying something to me that could offend me, but you're going to say it because you want to say it or you want to put it out there. And that's perfectly fine. I think I welcome that truly, and that's a great thing to have this conversation, right? But it's at the risk of offending me. So, but at the same time, it just depends on the person. So for me, I'm not offended by it. I think it's a great thing to have the conversation. Same thing as well as, in the other end, there's people that said, you know what, it's fair because he put out his information. So it goes to that. Now, I think that what you said in regards for the analogy of like, if I went out there, did a reverse image search, and then found out the people, and then I contacted them, right? I think that's going to be overdoing it and overstepping the bound. I didn't do anything. Like for me wise, in my end of things, I was reached out to. And also when I was reached out to, I made several steps to make sure that whoever this person is who they say they are, meaning photos, IDs, video chat. Now,
I was impressed by that, Mike.
Yeah, so I did that. I did not just say, "Oh, I got a text message."
Should we be involving people's family? Do you think that's appropriate, even if the family want to come forward? Is that really something for the YouTube? And how would that guy feel, that ex-cop? I mean, how would he feel now?
How does his family feel that he's saying and denying that he had certain things done? And so it goes both ways. So, the thing goes, that's what this is. You have the freedom to be able to put your information out there, and people should have the right to be able to rebuttal certain things and say their side as well. Now,
you
like
can
I said,
say whatever you want,
and
you can't,
and actually,
you're not breaking consequences.
Right. Well, I want to interrupt and say that we don't hunt people down, but we've included people, and I'm not even gonna shy away from that. So in other words, when we reached out to a few people when we've gone into some of these deep conversations or covered somebody. So when we were covering the British guy, Daryl, we reached out to some of his kids. They were on Facebook because they were on his page. And yes, I did some research. He was putting out a bunch of stories. He was saying things that, they weren't doing this, they weren't doing that. So, I mean, we have reached out to people to see if they had any information. Sometimes, like one of his daughters we were trying to see because he was going back there. He was asking people for money and talking about he was going back or what he lost. So we have reached out to people before. But we actually don't go in and actually do like heavy doxing. Like we're not going to pay, go in and pay those big fees to find out every bit of information and talk about, 20 different things about their life. We try to stick to the subject itself. But I mean,
don't you think this is just a tad different though, Heidi? Because you're talking about a divorced guy and you're talking to the daughter.
Well,
Like, don't you think that's a bit? Yeah, go ahead, George. I want to hear from you. George.
I understand where you're coming from, Gogo, but the problem I had, I actually said this last live, was the issue I have with that interview has nothing to do with Mike. Is like you said, she's not directly involved, not directly. And I understand this is somewhat more of a confirmation of character type interview. However, my question is, why would she divulge that information and such information publicly on social media? What I'm saying is, you can substitute Mike with any other vlogger. Point is, she's the one who said these things. And I'm kind of against that, not because, first off, I would never do that to any part of my family, friend or foe.
So you're saying the daughter itself giving out information?
Correct.
Because in the end, she reached out to Mike.
Well, again, Mike is, I mean, I'm not being disrespectful. Mike
Well,
is
George,
someone.
do you think?
And it
Can I ask
started by
George
the
something?
original source, which was him. He went on Mark Thornton's show and put all that public stuff out there.
No, I understand that, but she's the one who's
Right.
blurting this out.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Mike didn't.
Can I ask you something
put
on that,
words in her
George?
mouth. Yes.
George, do you think, George, this is just for George, would of the response being more mature for him to say, I don't really think that would be a good idea? Do you think he should have told her that instead?
Who's he? Are you talking about MYK or are you talking about?
Yeah, talking about Mick.
Okay.
That would have been the more reasonable thing to do, right? Because he has the large channel.
Yeah, I think he
He's
owed
in
it
the
to the
position of
viewers and the
power,
other
right?
people that are following all the other crap. Sorry.
Well, like I said, everybody's different. And I mean, like I said, even me and Heidi, like, we're husband and wife. We have battles on talking about topics simply because there's a clash of morality. Compass varies, and it varies per, upbringing, that kind of stuff. Again, there's technically no true right and no true wrong unless you're talking about black and white, meaning the law, black and white laws.
Hmm.
But when it comes to
So you think he
this
shouldn't have
stuff,
taken the interview, George? That's what you think?
in
It's
my
okay
in
to
my
say that.
in my opinion, Mike was not wrong.
Would you have done it
Well,
if she reached out
if
to us,
it
told us that,
was
and then
if,
she said
if
yes?
it was me, no. But if I were Mike, yes. Again, because we're two different people.
That's interesting. Interesting.
So here's a twist. Just curious. Go.
I
Let's say
would
for
have put
example-
it on. I'm just
Right.
letting
Well,
you
let's
know
say
that's
for-
where
let's say
I
for-
would've.
different beliefs.
Yeah,
Right.
let's say for example the daughter, the person I had a conversation with.
Because I see the Philippine.
Let's
and
say
not the
she made a
info.
video. Let's say she made a video and put it out there. Let's say she put it on YouTube, and she did a tell-all by herself, not me there, just by herself there. And then for some reason, it was posted on my live. It posted on my comment section, or somebody said, "Hey, Michael, there's this daughter that said this and said her side." Would it then be wrong for me to do a reaction to what she stated?
That's different again because you're not the initial starter of it. So it's different again. Her coming to you directly is still in a different context, so you can't announce it that
Okay.
way.
So wouldn't it be better if like the questions were asked in a better sense of things? So things were, because that's the thing, right? If I did a reaction on it, it's still her voice, it's still her comments. Now, like I said, in the way you situated it, you say, okay, well, I don't see it, you don't agree. You have every right to disagree. Like that's pure, complete, goodness and stuff like that you can have that. For me, wise, I was being fair. I was being fair in the sense of things is that, it's like, listen, all right, here's the coverage and stuff like that. She's going to put it out there anyways. She could have done it. She could have figured it out, and it was going to put it out there anyways. Either way, it was going to get out there. But the thing though is like, for me, wise, is like, I have my own, and here's the thing.
Right.
In a way, I can even admit this. There is some selfishness there. In addition, there is a tinge of selfishness there because I wanted to ask better questions that could not have been answered sometimes because I was curious also. So I would
I mean, I would
even
respond
say,
to that, Mike, and say if it was going to get out there, it shouldn't be from a private conversation with her, even though she told you to make it public. That's not the way it should be going out.
and you have every right to think that way. And then there's a good amount of people that is going to be out there who says it's a good thing that was out. I mean, here's a good thing, Go, right?
I mean, if
I
it
think
includes
that
minors or some other
so
things,
if people in the comment section put one that you think that it's okay that I released it, put two if you disagree. And you'll probably see there's gonna be some you might even get more people that disagree with me to put out that content. Okay. But then at any given time, you might also have a thing that people will agree. So, but that's the beauty about life. Okay.
And the beauty of YouTube over a big
Yeah.
national television show.
Yeah, that's the beauty about life,
And even
that
then,
that we can agree to disagree. It's perfectly fine. But in the end, we can have a visible, decent conversation about it to put points in each side of things, rather than yell at each other or get mad at each other or get upset at each other. We can have a constructive
kind of
constructive
investigative.
conversation about that kind of stuff. Now, if to answer your second part of your question, where you're asking about the wife's picture, right? I think you're talking about John's wife's picture?
Yeah, I saw he requested you to take his wife down, and that's all he said. And you didn't want to do that.
No. The request was, he stated that his wife told him to tell me to take the picture down. That was the comment he made. He goes, my wife told me pretty much to tell you to take the picture down.
Well, that's even stronger case then.
Okay, so here's the thing. Number one, I won't. And I'm going to answer why. Number two, I'll probably do it again. Okay, and here's why. She came to my channel. It wasn't a conversation between me and her. The conversation was between me, and I invited John. She butted herself in the conversation. Now, I was respectful enough to say she can come in. I'm not going to say no to it. Go ahead, please do come in. And she did come in. And she spoke her mind. But she never truly answered any of my questions. I kept asking, did I call you a 304? She couldn't answer it because I never did. Okay? And number two, every time that I would speak, when it was my turn, she would walk away. Okay? That's number two. So if in that case, I'm sorry to say, she's part of the subject.
Here's where I disagree with you there, Mike. Here's where I disagree with you.
Where do you disagree?
That's coming from a position from you, from what you want. Sometimes when another man makes a request, especially regarding his own spouse, just as a rule of thumb, you should respect that and be the bigger man and take the wife down.
You know what? I can take that premise and agree, but here's the thing. I don't respect him. So why should I do something for him?
That's okay.
Because you're affecting the wife, and the wife...
No, because the wife is a
separate
disrespectful
entity
woman.
to him.
No, the wife was a disrespectful woman.
Once again, I mean, if it was me, I would remove the wife. I'm not sure what George would do. Maybe he would do the same. You're very stubborn, Nick, aren't you?
No, I'm not. No. I'm very fair. I will allow conversations, but when are things there's things like I'll give you an example, right? There is a particular vlogger out there. His ex-girlfriend reached out to me. Okay. And this is a famous vlogger within our niche. Okay. His ex reached out to me. She wanted to expose him. Okay. So I said, all right, let's have a conversation. Now, I could have done it live. No, I said, let's have a conversation first. So she shared a lot of exposures. She said a lot of different things, but I asked better questions like I always do. And I literally then figured her out through my questions and a decent conversation. And I was able to ask her a question and figure out, were you doing this because of this? So it pretty much showed up that showed up that she was really trying to take him for his money in a bad sense. Even though it was fair to share her stuff, her side, I knew what she was doing. And I called her out on it and I asked her in a fairly nice way. I'm like, are you doing this because of this? And she agreed with it. So I didn't put the video out there. And then at the same time as I gave that vlogger that information, because I wanted to be fair and said, hey, can I have a conversation with you? I had a conversation with him. And I said, yo, listen, here you go. Here's the information. And
Nick, I don't see how that justifies the other.
Well, what I'm
saying,
saying,
just pull up another demonstration and then say that will now justify my last.
No. What I'm saying is that no. What I'm saying is for the reason that it depends on the situation. I'm gonna hold on to my beliefs on certain things. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna do this. I'm willing to change this if it's in regards for there's a good argument towards it. Now, I think that you have a fair argument, but at the end, I'm not going to change in regards for that. It's my decision.
The other thing is, Mick, on another note, like, you obviously respect Heidi and respect George, yes? Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah.
So when you cross the line in certain points, you cross that threshold, and then you come on this panel when everyone knows where Heidi and George lives. Do you think that's sensible for them and respectful towards them?
What do you mean by that? Can you please explain that further? I didn't get it.
Yes, please.
The phone call that you had with the daughter, you've upset members of that gentleman's family. Now, you come on this panel often, right? George and Heidi haven't crossed that line, whereas you have just gone across it. You've managed to cross that line. Do you really want to bring that sort of attention to George and Heidi if you respect them?
I think she Gogo means if we were the opposite party and let's say a part of our family member did that to us.
No, I think Gogo's talking about putting us in some sort of danger.
So yeah, that's the thing. It's a very confusing scenario that you're putting up or question you put there, Gogo. Because like, look, George got something different, I got something different, and Heidi got something different. So can you like put that in a question?
Because you did say they know where we live. You clearly stated that.
Yes, everyone, because you're very public about that. Because you haven't crossed the line yet. You're just having a bit of fun running your drama channel, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whereas Mick,
and it's just not a drama channel, by the way, Gogo. You know, it's funny. Recently, the recent trolls that contacted us actually mentioned that, and also mentioned the comment that we just put up from somebody recently having. We've actually had in the past 2 years, 2 or 3 people saying they know where we live and all of this. Hold on a second. But here, babe, take her.
But and I do apologize, Gogo, because it really doesn't. It's not registering in my head how you're asking the question. So
I mean, and honestly, I'm not worried. I mean, we have more than just this. It's just not drama. It's something we're covering now, but we put out all kinds of content.
Yeah, and I understand that, but I'm just saying that I feel, well, it's not that I feel Mick has crossed the line. And
no, but
he may have a case for doing that. He may Mick, you may have a case for doing that. I'm not saying you don't, but you still cross that line.
But you feel that I crossed the line, but there's other people that I feel or think that I didn't. But this is the beauty about life, right? No, you
crossed the line, brother. You crossed the line.
Okay, we'll deal a little bit later on. We'll deal with you later on,
President. To another person's family, children.
Did I talk to them or did they talk to me?
That's not a social norm to be had. And what Gogo is trying to say is that you cross the line by doing that, and that Heidi and George hasn't crossed the line. They are more respectful of people than you've been. That's what Gogo's saying.
Is that what you're saying,
exactly
Gogo?
what he's saying.
Is that what you're saying, Gogo?
Yes, Yes.
Okay.
In a
So-
roundabout way, yes.
In a roundabout way. So let's take it in the general sense. I get it. You guys can feel that way. That's the thing. That's the beauty about life, right? It's because the fact that you can feel that way. You can have that, that new.
Well, I don't feel that
different-
way. That is the case. I don't have any feelings. I'm still absolutely
Okay.
fine with you, Mick, but I don't
So-
agree with crossing the line.
But at the same time, as if others don't feel that way or don't think that way, then then that's them, and that's where I'm at.
Well, George,
It doesn't make it
George
right.
does feel that way. George wouldn't do that. He agrees with me that you crossed the line. Having said that, we think you're very intelligent, and we hold most of the views that you hold. All I'm saying is you crossed the line. That's all I'm
And
saying.
would you?
Nick.
Sure. And would you agree that we can't all agree to everything?
Well, crossing the line is different, isn't it? Because that can start endangering people too.
How was it endangering people?
Well, I just said before. Heidi and George don't only do those sorts of things, right? They still want a peaceful channel to some degree, right? They do vlogs. They go out and about. They do proper YouTube channel.
So you're saying, okay, if I can get the general sense, please tell me if
Sorry,
I'm wrong.
guys, had an asthma attack.
If I'm, you're okay?
Yeah, I'm
Breathe,
okay.
breathe.
I think it's we just brought the puppy in, and because we've been sick, my platelets and everything have been really off with the lupus. So just all at
Water.
once, just like I couldn't breathe. So sorry, guys.
Drink that water. So, okay.
So, guys, I'm out of time. I gotta go. But that's all I wanted to put forward. And thanks for having me on, everyone.
Hold on, go. I really
Thanks
want to
for
get
being
where
here.
you're at. If can you just give me like 30 seconds? So tell me
30
this
seconds,
is
make it fast.
awesome. Got it. So you're saying that me doing that and me going into Antics channel, that's me putting them at risk because there's people that thinks that know where they live. Is that was that the gist of where you're going at? Just
I'll
so
just
that I
quickly
got it.
say this. I'll just quickly say this. You spoke to an ex-cop's daughter regarding a divorce and you put it public. Right, you do the math on that. Look, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for having me on.
I'm not scared of cops, so it's okay. Perfect. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gogo. Yeah, and so I just want to answer that. It's not the first time we've been threatened. I mean, because we've actually had people that have described our house, and we're not exactly trying to hide it. I'm sure anybody can actually find it. And as I stated in the section, we will continue to cover content like this, plus our own, plus expat help. And we would actually know. I mean, people threaten all the time in the YouTube world. No, I'm not scared either. So,
Well,
that's
and I
where
think
I am
Mike's
on
trying to also provide a platform for some of the people that don't get a platform in these situations. I think that a lot of the times we get one side to the expat story. Oh, my life was so bad back home and everybody treated me so bad. And I'm not picking on any one expat, by the way. But, oh, it was so terrible. And then my boss treated me bad. And then my wife left. And then you don't ever hear from any of those people. So
Right,
expats can present a very one-sided take.
Perfect,
I mean, even
that's
with
right,
me,
and
I'm
that's-
sure I know for a fact there's people that would come on here and say I'm scum of the earth and I've done this and that, and there's two sides to every story. Now, is there an element of truth and needing to respect that? Sometimes when you're trying to shed light on certain ugly realities, we can lack tact. I mean, I've certainly lacked tact in certain things, but that doesn't mean that there's not value in allowing that, because I imagine, she's had a lot of emotions regarding this and she hasn't really been able to address it because the parties involved are thousands of miles apart from each other. So yeah, I mean, I may not always agree, but people have a right to speak their part on these situations. Everybody does.
And actually, I said that. I said, that a lot of people got offended because what it is they got slapped in the mirror of the people that they've left behind. The other aspect, the other side of the story, the people that are voiceless in a way, because there are people that, have these feelings, and all we're hearing is that in a general sense, and by far average, you're hearing that everyone in America was bad, so that's why I left America. So now I'm here with I have a new life. I discovered I healed myself. and that's far from the truth. And to be fair, I never put out anything about the mom, did I? Right? Or the ex-wife. The question is, do I have that? So that's the question. Do I have the thing about the ex-wife? Now, that's not, I'm not going to do that. But the daughter is fair game, and because the grandkids are affected. But it's like that's my whole statement on that stuff. It's like, listen, there's other people that get left behind, but most people don't want to have that voice come out. And this was an opportunity for people, and a lot of people got offended.
And I agree with you, Mike. I'd have done the same. So that's where. And when George heard what Alex said, what's your opinion on the way that was presented?
Heidi, George, let me ask you guys a question, please.
Yeah.
My question is this: okay, this is going to get a little touchy, so I'm just going to fair warn you, but I want to make a point. Heidi, what would you say if I wanted to call your son or his girlfriend or your ex? What would you say about that?
Go ahead would be my answer.
I'm a complete stranger, and I'm just going to call out of the blue just to make a phone call and talk shit about you. That's what I'm going to do. How would you feel if somebody did that to you?
Well, if I was putting but if I was putting my business out and lying to George about a bunch of stuff and it affected like that, then yeah, go ahead. But are you talking about just being a troll? Because I'm not hiding anything. So, I mean, I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is a complete stranger calling members of your family to get dirt on you. Is that cool?
Who did that? Did I do that?
I don't think anybody would. I don't think anybody would agree.
No, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, if I'm on YouTube the same as these other guys, and I already expect that.
Okay, don't expect it. Okay, take all that out. Don't expect it. Come from it from social norms, from adult people interacting together. Come from it from that angle. Forget about YouTube. It's not socially acceptable to do those kind of things. And that's my point.
Well, if there was no YouTube, no lies being told, then yes. And that norm, the answer would be no. That would be weird. But when you add everything back in, that's when I agree with Mike and about the expats that are putting things out. But if this was no internet, no YouTube, and let's say it was another year or something, and someone just started reaching out to my kids about life, which, by the way, people did that in Ohio too. Like they would reach out and call people. Yeah, it still actually happened, but I would still say go ahead.
But you were upset with it. When they called your kids, if they did, or you would be upset with that. No? Of course you would.
Well, it depends if you're a troll or not and making threats. That would be the only thing. Not you per se, but that would be my only reason to get upset.
Yeah, but Mick is a troll.
Hey, let me ask a question.
He's taking the information out and putting it out. He's a troll. He's just doing it openly.
Did I call? But see, the way you positioned the scenario to ask Heidi is also something that's, in a way, taking it offline. Did I call the daughter?
Doesn't matter if you call the daughter or not. You're the adult. You're supposed to act like an adult. You take the high ground.
Let's say, for example, your daughter grows up, right?
Yep.
And she has a gripe about you.
Okay.
Okay. And she wants to put up a YouTube video and talk bad about you. Would that be a good thing or a bad thing? Would you be mad about it?
Would I? No. It's her business. Okay, if she wants to say something like that.
Exactly. So the daughter wanted to say her own thing on things. She's an adult. She's not a child. She called me. I did the following. I did the back.
How do we know that she called you? How do we know she called you?
Because on the video she stated so.
Okay. And so she contacted you because she has something against her ex-old man.
No,
that's not all about.
No. Sure
it is. She would not have contacted you unless that happened.
Did you listen to the video?
I have listened to portions of the video. It's disgusting.
Once
I can't
again,
stand it.
then until you watch the whole video and you can admit it to it, then we can have this conversation again. Because right there, it's mute. Because once again, you did not listen.
You're
to
an
the whole
adult. You
audio.
should not have done it.
No, it doesn't matter. The thing goes,
You
I'm an
don't
adult.
talk to
No.
another person's
I'm-
family. You
She's
don't
an adult.
do that. It's not a socially
She's-
accepted norm. It's called. Hey, it
She's
doesn't
an
matter. She's an
adult.
adult, man. You're an
And
adult.
you know what?
You're older
You
than
have.
she is. You can
But
say
see,
no.
but
You have a choice
You know
to
what?
say no.
You're right. You're completely right.
You have a choice to say no.
Hold on.
You don't have to
Hold on.
do everything.
You have every right to think about that. Just as an adult, you don't leave your child, a pregnant woman, for a whole year. Because as adults, you don't do that.
And you know, as an adult, you don't do what you're doing now.
So, but which
You're
one's
putting
worse?
your people,
which
your
one
friends-
which one is worse? Someone who left their pregnant previous significant other, even though they're in a breakup, whatever. Which
That's
one's
not
worse?
my business.
Which
It's
one's
not
worse?
my business.
Which one
It's
is
not
worse?
my business. I have no
Then it's-
relationship to those people. I have nothing to do with those people. It's not my business. I don't care, and you shouldn't either.
Exactly.
Just like you stuck. Wait a minute. Wait. Just like you stuck your nose into Uncle Jesse's business and you got it slammed, and you weren't man enough to apologize to Uncle Jesse for all that shit, right?
Actually, I apologize.
You're
and I
a
already-
troll.
But see, I
You did
already
not.
explained it.
You did not
But listen,
apologize. Don't
but
lie,
listen.
man. We all listen.
No.
You're a
That's the
troll.
thing.
You're on
This
the
is-
out.
this-
That's all you
This
are.
is the fun part. It's like, at least, you know what? Whatever you had to say, in the end, I'm not the one that left an impoverished child in the Philippines. I'm not the one
It's not
that all this.
It's not your business. It's not your business. It's not your life. It's
I'm
not,
not the
your
one-
life, brother. Listen.
I'm not the one. who
Don't
left
be
an
involved
impoverished
in other
child.
people's
I'm
lives.
not the one.
Live
who-
your
I'm
own
not-
life.
and
Live
you're
your
right.
own life.
You are completely
There's
right.
nothing you can say that's going to change my mind.
And it
Live
doesn't
your own
matter.
life.
And I don't plan to. And here's the thing: if your advice is for me to live my own life, then why are you telling me what to do?
Don't mingle in other people's lives. Let them live their
Why
own
are
lives.
why are you mingling in my business?
Because you're a troll.
But see, that's the thing. It's funny, right? Because then people
It's
can
not
call
funny.
you a troll.
It's
Watch
not
this.
funny. You're an adult.
Everybody in the chat, I know that people can say yes or no. One, if he's a troll. Two, if he's not.
I'm not a troll. I'm talking, right? So Heidi and George, I want to ask you one more question. And the question is this, is I want to go what Gogo said. You know, you're letting this guy come into your channel and cause
Oh, look at
trouble.
that troll.
The second thing about it is this, is that, you know, you guys, when the Philly and the Lut thing went on, you know, you had those things happen to you, which wasn't cool. Okay, but it happened.
You
All
don't
right,
know
now-
all of that, so you don't
I
know the
know
whole
what you
story.
put out. That's all. I'm not
And
being
that's the
argumentative
problem.
to you, so please don't take it that way. What I'm trying to put a point to you is the fact that that happened to you. Okay, and it happened to you because of YouTube and nonsense on YouTube. I don't know who was right or wrong. I'm not making judgment on who was right or wrong. But it can happen again because of what Mick has done and what he's brought to your channel.
What's
Those
going to happen?
people over there in Dumageddon could raise a fuss about all this. So Mick is putting you in danger of something like that happening, and that's what Gogo was trying to tell you. So
Right. So
you've Mick has crossed the line, and you've brought this into your channel, which before was nothing like this. You didn't cross the line, you stayed on the other side. But now you're letting him into your channel. He's causing all this haywire, and it's just as trolls for his own channel views.
Are you reading the comments?
I'm not reading the comments.
Exactly.
I don't care about
Because
the
everybody,
comments.
because the thing goes,
Because I'm not talking to comments. I'm talking to Heidi and George right now.
but what I'm just trying to say is,
Okay.
if you have your comments,
So
to
let
you
me
call a
continue
troll,
my conversation with
everybody else
Heidi and
says you're
George
a
and not
troll.
you. I'm not listening to you. I'm talking to Heidi and George. You don't want your channel to become like Mick's,
Oh,
okay? You have a good channel. You've had a good channel for years. I've been following you for years. That's the only reason I'm up here. You know, he's a snake. You're laying in bed with a snake. Just be careful.
Okay. Just real quick again, to be fair to about anything on the snake part. I understand that warning, and also be aware that, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, because we're in a world now where you can't trust anybody, even your closest friends. They can turn on you in a dime, especially in the YouTube world. So I understand your warning. I'm also aware that, yes, when Mike or Dubby, or Alex or Gogo goes on our channel, we are somewhat still, again, responsible for what they say. And I say somewhat because, again, they're on our channel. But if they say, but what I'm saying is we don't necessarily represent everything all of our guests say. Of course, I mean, nobody does. Nobody on earth agrees with anybody at any point in time. But I appreciate your concern, as it were. Now, as far as those ones who are calling Gogo and Dubby trolls and or not. Now,
I think they're actually saying they're in cahoots together. And because that day he was trying to get us to let him back in the room. And it's funny, his exact words was that threatening message. So I no longer think it's the person you said, Mike. Okay. I think it's him that made that fake account that came through Messenger. His
Which
words
one?
were almost exact.
right. So
Who,
now,
Dubby?
Yes.
No, that's John. That's the John with the stills and stuff like that. Because you see how like he tried. I got him to admit it that about the child, and all of a sudden he takes it back. Then he's like, no, that doesn't apply. That's them. I'm like, and then
I'm skeptical of anybody that's not going to show their face. I mean,
Yeah.
just right off the
Mhm.
bat.
Oh, okay.
I
So
stand
yeah,
by my
you did.
words.
You said that it was him. So
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
But,
So
but
okay.
before we continue again, because again, as far as the ones that call Gogo and Dubby trolls because they don't show their face. Okay. First off, okay. Be aware, it doesn't necessarily mean, I said not necessarily mean, that they don't show their face, that automatically makes them a troll. Okay.
It's troll behavior. If he creates another account to come in and tell us to get rid of our guests and all of that, I call it troll.
Right, but there's a lot of non-trolls that don't show their face because honestly they just don't want to be seen. And two, the voice thing, same thing. It's a form of anonymity. However, I get a lot of people don't like the synthetic voice. But what I'm saying is, don't make. I'm not talking about anybody in the panel, and I'm just saying in general, don't make assumptions. Make your judgments after, watch them, listen to what they say, and then make your own judgments. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, you're really smoothing this over.
No.
Just because we have
Because
Mike that comes in the room and spins the truth, and like I said, what I've been trying to tell that person and others, we do more than just this. All of a sudden, if Mike spits the truth, now we're a troll channel. Now we're a drama channel.
no,
And he
no,
wants
no,
to
no,
come
no.
in and say, be warned.
See,
I'm not worried about nobody in Dumageddon. Here comes the ghetto Heidi, and here comes the mama cat. Because I'm
I
not going
wanted
to be
to
told to stop my channel
no,
or
no.
all of this because we're worried that somebody knows where we live. They're never going to get off that chair and come and do it.
No, okay. First off,
And I wanted
that's
to chime in really quick. I mean, if you look at Joe Rogan, biggest podcaster of all time, if you saw one of his recent guests on a criminal justice episode, this is all over the news. He was recently arrested. So I don't know. So Mike knows about this. So yeah. If you judge a channel based on their guests, I mean, look at Joe Rogan. He has somebody that's literally just spent 25 years in the clink and is likely going right back. And so, it's like Larry King had a talk show. He had all kinds of strange people on there as guests. People want to hear these stories. People want to have people have a chance to stand up and speak for themselves and to, and to basically be in that hot
that's what
seat
Mike's
where
doing. That's what Mike's doing. That's what we're doing. It's not like we're investigating the, somebody that's in the mafia. I'm not going to believe that for one moment, any of those cats over there or any of that. And honestly, I really don't care. And I really mean that. So what? So we're spinning some truths. We're telling the truth about stuff in the Philippines or what these guys are up to and all of that. But Mike puts out other content too, and so do we. It's not like our main focus. And even if it was, that is our business. That is absolutely our business. And come and visit me. As
I
I
think
told
some of them are jealous of the attention. I think some of them are jealous of the attention.
we've
that
had
your channel and
somebody
Mike's
for
channel
quite some
gets.
time making threads. So
I
bring it
just to let
on.
you know, I have a gripe with you, Heidi. I want you to tell me the truth.
Go on.
Was it you or was it George? Because I'm looking at the damn thumbnail right now, just to let you know. like I'm serious, right? Like, which one of you entered into the computer a picture of me to try to get that thumbnail? I'm just saying, I think you need to change the AI that you guys use, because we got to talk about this. I'm looking at my thumbnail right now.
You
In
have
all
to send
honesty,
it to me. Oh, wait till you see the other ones, Mike. You should be glad that I didn't
then
use
you have
the
to-
other ones.
Oh, are they?
Oh, I can get it.
Hey.
That's right. I can get it here. I can
Yeah.
get it. So what it was, Mike,
my
that was a good
gosh.
one. Mike, that was a good one.
This was the best one?
Yes. Because the other
Good
one,
Lord.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the other one, Mike, because
Like,
that was
like
the good
you
one.
you guys need to upgrade your chat GPT, man, because dude, holy
Well, that's
cow.
Reimagine, so it's where it puts things together, not just the photos.
But you
And
know what's
actually,
really
we
weird
have
for
3 or
me?
4 big ones.
Anytime I use like an AI filter, it changes my face into like some like Bollywood, god.
Well, that's what
Type
the
of
other
a man
one
with
looked
a
like.
nice chisel,
Oh
I
no,
get a
this one made you look like the lower caste in India. So I decided not to use it. So believe me, that
which
was the
reminds
best
me.
one. I said make a young Mike as a Superman. That's what they
I was
came
like-
up with, and believe
I
me,
was like-
that was the better choice.
No, but what Alex was talking about, that was crazy. Like he decapitated someone recently, right? He got arrested for that. Like
A guy named
and
Sheldon Johnson.
Yeah, that was a crazy story. But that's the thing though. Like, I think that, you always are, like, and I said earlier, you're gonna risk offending someone to
Yeah, and
have
there's
serious,
always
like,
that
yeah.
risk in
Any
the
serious
media.
conversation there's a risk that you're gonna offend someone, because when things are serious information, when things get serious in the conversations and certain things, people are gonna agree and people are gonna disagree. And for Go and stuff like that, he has every right to think that's the wrong thing, but that's where he has his own mind. He's saying it, and so I'm gonna agree to say that that's what his belief is, and I'm gonna respect that. But at the very same time, as on my end and stuff, but that's just the fun. And that's the thing. What's funny is, like, you're gonna get, people are gonna get pissed by 1, 2, 3, even say, let's say for example 10% of your content, and and they're gonna get upset, but then they're gonna say, but I like the rest of your content. And so my thing is that as a human being, I'm not here to hope that every single human being, I don't have this thing that everyone is going to agree with me 100%. That's impossible. That's a fantasy to believe in. So if even if, let's say for example, I agree with somebody 60% of the time, that's still pretty decent for me. I'm like, that's still a net positive in the end, right? And so it's like, for people, and people have the right to say what they want to say, but at the same time, what's fun to see is they want to make their statement, okay, which they have every right to. But when we do a counter and make our statement to counter their thoughts, they get upset. They for me,
They
you
want
have
a
every right.
unidirectional. They want to say,
Yeah.
Mike, you're full of this and that, and what is it? They want to hold your hand or your arm and hit you with it, and then say, stop hitting yourself. I mean, it's just, it's callous.
It's very woke minded. It's very, SJW, social justice warrior and stuff like that. It's like they don't want to meet in the middle. They want to be like, agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, I'm like, then all of a sudden it's a bad thing. I'm like, you have the right to think what you want to think, but at the same time, as you know,
Yeah, I mean, if
you
people are going
can't do it all the
to come
time.
after us over that, they were crazier than a loon to begin with. That ain't going to be no
Mhm.
mafia-like guy going to waste his time to come over and get me, or worried that he's an ex-cop and all that. I'm too old for that. You see what I mean? I know that's never going to happen. Are you serious? That old dude ain't
and
going to
that
get up out of his chair to come get me. He's too
yeah, and
busy
that
over there smashing something.
and that's the thing. It's like, well, what Gogo says, well, he's an ex-cop. Okay. Like, it's like, okay, fine. You can see where you can kind of think that way.
Right.
But for me, wise, it's like, and it's like, am I supposed to be scared of cops? Right? No, I'm not going to be scared of cops. I can respect them, but that doesn't mean I'm going to agree with them all the time. I'm going to, all these different things. I'm like, that's not how it works. So it's like, it's like you win
Hey,
some, you lose some.
There you go, Mike.
What?
I just sent them to you through your messenger.
Oh, you sent me something on Messenger? Hold on.
Yeah, I sent you the photos that it did generate.
Really? You put me next to him?
Hey, that's the one that George said to use. Innocent old George said use that. Did you not, George?
Huh?
How long did you laugh over that one?
Oh,
Till
a
you
long
cried.
time. That was
Till he
hilarious.
cried, and he told me to use that, Mike.
Good Lord.
You should convert it so I can show it.
No, I'm not going to show it. See,
okay.
George, see? Now see how evil George is. You guys have no idea the type of evilness that I actually live with on a daily basis.
Good Lord. No.
See, now everybody wants to see the picture now.
No.
See?
No.
That one,
No, Mike,
Not that one.
No.
Now, Mike, I ask you, as me being the
One,
crazy
if you guys
one in
want
the
to see
house.
the picture. Two, if you don't want to see the picture.
They're all gonna say one. They're all gonna say one, damn it. That's what I know they're gonna say.
Now,
I'm like, damn it, you can't use one.
Mike. Now, I generated and spent 2-3 hours on that this morning, and it kept generating like 50 other pictures. Now, do you like the photo that I put on?
Okay, fine. I will take the Superman any time of the day. So I'm just saying.
Thank you. So,
But
see
good
what I
Lord.
mean?
So,
Right,
so-
because
so-
that one's got you all.
Oh, there it is. One.
You know what,
Damn.
Mike? I'm
I
going
don't
to
care.
offend you.
You guys can show it. I don't care. Like,
Hey, Mike.
you know.
Hey, no. Well, hold on, Mike.
You know,
Mike, check it out.
what?
Mike, listen carefully.
Cámate.
See the one where you've got the hood over your eyes, and George told me not to say this. You look like Rike there.
No, I don't look like Ricky. The one with the Venom mask on top of it?
Yes.
With the Venom mask behind it?
Yes.
No,
It's
I
not
look
you, but it turns you into. I'm like, what the heck is
I
really
look
going
I
on?
look like I'm part of the Munsters.
You actually do.
But
That's
forget it. Everyone put a 1. It's for me to say that I'm gonna be that's unfair. Fine, everyone put 1. You put it out there, Heidi. Put the damn photos up. I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay.
I lost that one, right? Like let's be fair. Put 1s, and and the reason why I'm agreeing to this is because somebody put an 11, put a double 1 on there. So forget it.
That's
Fine.
Bruce, yo.
Is that Bruce? Forget it. Put it out there. I don't care. Let people laugh. Damn it.
We're laughing with you, Mike.
No, you can't.
Yeah. You'll see why I'm like, why did you put me next to him? Like, you'll see why I said that. I was like, damn.
No, I can't.
But
Never shows.
in the end, you guys need a new AI. That's all I gotta say. This AI that you guys are using
They
is
can't
suck.
see it anyway. It's too small.
You want to convert all this?
Chat GPT 2.0.
Okay.
I'm at 4. I just upgraded to 4.0 the other day.
That's Woody Lights,
I heard it's
guys.
worth it. I don't have it, but I've heard it's worth it.
The upgrades on it, it's worth
I'm gonna
it.
go because nobody's using it.
On which one?
Woody Lights. It's going to be my YouTube channel from now on.
What is it?
Woody Lights.
Wooded
Oh,
light?
okay.
Yeah, I think I had it another channel, Northern Lights, before, and I just changed it a few times. But I think I'm going to go with Woody Lights. I'm in Tucson,
Woody.
Arizona.
Ooh, love me some Tucson. Well, I'm more a Scottsdale person, but I like Tucson.
I like Phoenix too, but I got to take care of my mom here in Tucson, so I don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, it's
Oh, there it turned up.
Yeah. So you're there in Florida, Mike? Or-
yeah, in the middle of it, middle of the swamps.
Yeah, I went to Orlando. Orlando, I think last year sometime. I stayed in a resort out there for a week and saw the alligator farmer. I can't remember the name of the place, but
You were at Orlando?
yeah, I went to Orlando last year for
That's
like
cool.
a week. I think last summer. Yeah, there's a lot of gators out there, and then
Yeah, they just caught a 6-footer, 2 houses down, walking in the road, like in the cul-de-sac, a little 6-footer.
Yeah, they're
Nice.
fairly common here in Florida. We
yeah.
drove by them a lot.
It's mating season now, so you know the guys are on the hunts, so you're gonna see them in the streets more nowadays. So, yeah, they just found a 6-footer. They caught a 9-footer like I think like 6-7 months ago.
Oh snap! Have you heard about all the pythons they've been finding in different areas? The one that crashed through a market roof, and then they found one out in Cebu that was just out in the middle of the street. Man, gigantic one.
In the Philippines or like in Florida? Florida is
No,
Florida
Philippines.
where it's overrun. Florida, they
Oh,
pay
in
money
Florida,
to catch
yeah.
them.
I stop by
in
the highway a
Philippines
lot.
before-
Yeah.
When I was in the Philippines before, I went to some kind of park over there, or some kind of place over by what's the Civic Bay, and they had like a
Volcano
show.
World?
Yeah, they had a show and they had a python, and then I tried to go hold the python. I put it around my neck, and they're like, "Hey, give me back that python." they were upset that I was trying to hold it and put it around my neck, you know, because I had a python when I was growing up.
There it is.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's the one I'm like really next to him.
Hey,
I look
you
like
know
the
who
damn
you look
maid.
like? You know what
I look
you
like the
look like
maid.
next to Tim K? You look like that guy on 90 Day Fiance. You look like that Hawaiian couple. You know, the younger husband.
I haven't seen
There
that
was-
one.
Yeah, there's a Hawaiian husband on 90 Day Fiance. I think they're broke up officially. That she
This is so
and
bad.
George
Like,
said,
really
"Put
next
that
to
one
him?
up on Tim K." He
You
was up
see-
there this morning, and I said, "I can't do that to Mike."
Like I know for a fact this was a picture of Tim K with someone, and then that like you impose my like the damn what do you call this thing?
Actually,
Oh.
it wasn't. So what it is
Really?
the app we have does it's like a dream something. If you tell them what you want, right? It allows you to add different characters in there or people. I call it characters officially. And I put your photo and his,
Welcome to later.
and they put you all together.
No.
Welcome to
There's the
later.
I said
Look,
one.
I look like I'm a part of the Munsters.
I know you kind of look like Rike there to me. Rike, probably about I don't know 10 years ago.
No, like people will say like I'm more of a I look like the brother of Big Head.
Oh snap! No.
That's what most people will say. They're like, you look like the younger brother of Big Head.
So, but I'm telling you, George is evil. He's got his own evilness. What was you saying about? He's always saying something evil, man. About the animals, about all kinds of stuff. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
What'd
can't-
you say?
You can't say those things in live. I'll say them in front of Mike, but I'm not gonna say them in live.
See what I mean?
There's
Jimmy
well,
Bean.
everybody says wrong things, but some people will misconstrue and use it where it's a joke versus
I just say
People-
George keeps all of his evilness on the down low when the lights go down.
when I wake up. You mean? What do you mean lights go down?
Right? And then when he gets on, he's like, he plays the perfect character. Curtains rise, and here comes George, the innocent Filipino act. I'm telling you, man. And then he knows I'm going to act on my emotions, and I'm going to.
Actually,
Well,
my
see,
college
most
professor
Filipinos
did say
don't
that.
look mean, but we can be mean, right? That's the thing.
Oh
It's just
man,
when you
mean
don't-
as a
when-
snake, man. Don't cross. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm just saying,
That's
man.
it. And then he comes down a few hours later, he's editing and stuff, and he says, "Listen," he says, "I'm sorry." So yes, yeah, got menopause going on. George is in his menopause phase right now.
Well, you know what causes menopause, right?
Yeah, what's up with that? I think he's at the age. He's extra cranky, and I'm thinking he's
No,
going to buy an extra e-trike or something.
Yeah, men go through menopause because they had to deal with women when they went to their menopause.
Oh, there you go.
I don't think so. Is that
It's
just,
just it's our reaction to your actions.
Mike? Well, you're wrong on that one
Oh,
because
dang. I use that statement a lot.
I had a hysterectomy, and mine happened a long time ago. So I'm not.
Well,
going
then it
through
took George a while to have to deal with it to let it out.
that. George hasn't been around that long. That was let out
There
on
you
the
go.
previous husband.
Oh, poor
What?
guy.
Wait, what?
A second.
Oh, did I not tell you I married the Canadian?
What kind of chicanery is this?
Right now, I'm planning to buy a
Another
steam
notch in my
sauna.
panties.
So I had surgery today, and they asked me if they wanted to put me under, and I said, "Well, can I drive after the surgery?" And they said, "Not if we give you the Versed." And I said, "Well, just give it to." I said, "Just give me the anesthesia, numb me up." And so they did the surgery without putting me to sleep, and I was able to drive after the operation. I had a loop recorder put in my chest. I probably can't show you. If I show you, probably.
You had a what?
Loop recorder. Monitors my heart because they think I have AFib. When I had a sleep study done, the sleep doctor said that it looks like I have AFib, normal arrhythmia with my heart. So they gave me a referral to the cardiologist, and then the cardiologist put me on blood thinners, and then they said,
So they think you have an AFib. They put a loop recorder on you
in my chest.
Yeah. So loop recorder is just pretty much just like a pacemaker or something that a double. So that's what it is.
So
but
it sends a signal to my iPhone, and then from the iPhone it goes to the doctor, and they can.
Yeah.
They can.
You have a Wi-Fi thing set up at your house to be able to receive and then deliver, right? Did they give you one of those, or does it go directly to them now?
Well, there's actually like a magnet they gave me. If there's like an event or something, I can put it on my chest. And I don't know. It's this my luck.
So make sure you open it because you might have to set up something so that it forwards over. So make sure you take a look at that.
Anyways, they gave me
typically,
this kind of magnet. They said I can put it on my fridge, and if something goes wrong, they said put it over your chest, and they can. But anyways, it's kind of it's recording all the time, and it goes to my iPhone, and I guess it goes to the doctor so they can.
Oh, okay. So your iPhone is the receiver that sends it out.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, so you have one of the newer ones. Okay, that's cool. I'm just saying.
Yeah. They said it's the latest model. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Because typically they used to have like it looks like what do you call those internet stuff? So because what happens is from you to that, and that gets sent out to the reader and stuff like that. So, but you have the one that goes to your phone.
So I guess it's made by Boston Scientific. And
okay. Yeah, those are cool things. Just make sure your phone's always charged.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure that your phone doesn't die because it needs to have that. So just to let you know.
Okay? It's making it harder and harder for me ever to go back to the Philippines with all these problems I've started to get.
No, it's they're only going to have the loop recorder to you in less than 10 months, right? Just to do the studies to figure out what happens, and then from there on, they're going to make a decision.
Yes,
they're going to
the battery can be the battery will last like 3 years, but they're going to take it out earlier if they don't think I need it. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's just because I know a couple people that has like a couple nurses that have devices, implantable devices as well, not a loop recorder. But they had in the US, then they go to the Philippines.
And chest, but I won't show you my chest.
Right, Sarah.
I don't want to get that from YouTube.
It typically goes, from your sternum a little, sternum a little bit to the left, right above your nipple line. So it's not really all the way here like a pacemaker, but more like
they were cutting I could feel the pressure. They gave me kind of like some shots to,
Are you taking Eliquis or are you taking Coumadin?
Eliquis, twice a day, but prior to the surgery, I stopped taking it Sunday. So
make sure when you go to your doctor, ask for the free samples because a lot of times they'll give you a good 3 months worth because those things are expensive. I used to pay $1,000 a month for my mom and $1,000 for my dad. So I was paying $2,000 a month for Eliquis when it first came out. Now it's like only like
being retired military.
Oh, nice, good for you.
I got The copay is
Yeah.
like $38
How's your mother doing?
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome.
My mom?
No,
Oh, who's
No,
mom?
my mom.
asking.
I was on here live the other day. Yeah, she's I took her to the audiologist the other day, and we're looking at getting a cochlear implant. But my mom doesn't want to get drilled in the head. And the way they were talking, they said it's pretty invasive and it can have a lot of side effects. And there's a lot of nerves in there that can like totally damage it. And she doesn't want to do it. So the problem is she keeps on losing her hearing aids. So it's expensive every time she loses it. But I'm going to take her to Costco on Saturday and try to. The other day she couldn't find her hearing aid, so I was looking through the trash, and she had it. It was in the trash inside of a cheesecake container. So
Oh wow.
it just she's it's just hard to keep up with, but yeah, it's a challenge. But yeah, and I take her to the.
I think my grandma got her hearing aids from Costco, and she's pretty happy with them.
Yeah. I tried to get some online, but they don't really have the good support. You know, the ones that you order online, and then you try to call up. So I just get it from Costco. My father, before he died, I think he got her about 6 years ago. My father died 2021, but he got him, but she lost one of them, or I don't know what she did with it. You know, she probably threw it away or left it in the doctor's office. Who knows? Yeah. So I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I don't know if I told you that. And I have a Filipino wife. She's from Tuberon, Cebu. She's not here right now. She's with her friends at the casino, probably on their way back. I don't know. I had to cut her up her ATM card, so she won't be tempted to. There's a little bit of intervention here, so I just I Zelly some money out of her account to my account, and then give her like a little bit of money every day. I got to keep it. It's kind of like a drug addict, when they get hooked on that gambling, So there's a Desert Diamond Casino, an Indian casino on the other side of town, and then there's another one, Casino del Sol. So I don't know if they have any in Florida. They don't have any casinos in Florida, do they?
They do. There's a Hard Rock and stuff like that. Right close by. Close by between where I'm at.
I know. When I lived out in Florida before, Cocoa Beach, when I was stationed out there, they had a one that went out in the water for a few hours and they'll come back. Yeah, but my first wife, she was hooked on the slots too, but she's in Texas now. She goes up to Oklahoma. So
yeah, those Indian casinos, man, it's full of Chinese and Filipinos in there, always gambling.
Yeah.
It's just the truth.
That's awful racist of you there, George Carlin.
Was I being racist? I was being racist again. Those racist people.
You're being racist again.
Racist.
Yeah. Right.
All those Asian people.
So I'm the Pepsi Light sponsor here.
Hey, there you go.
And there you go.
What's going on, Mike?
Wait, are you in the Philippines or you're in Tucson, you say, right?
I'm in Tucson, Arizona, but I have a wife that's from Tuberon, Cebu.
No, but how do you have a Pepsi Light? I never seen Pepsi Light in the U.S. Pepsi Light is always in the Philippines.
It's Diet Pepsi, but I mean, in the Philippines, it's
okay. So, no, because when you said Pepsi Light, I'm like, that's only in the Philippines, and I was just like, wait, what? There's Pepsi Light in the States? That's awesome.
No.
Okay, got it. It looks like you've been indoctrinated in the Filipino, Filipino
I stayed over there for more than a year. I had, before I married my wife right now,
awesome.
I had two girlfriends over there after my first wife divorced me in 2011.
Don't say that. Your wife might hear you. You're about to get in trouble. About access among Filipinos.
How many Filipino girlfriends have you had, George?
I used to have a girlfriend that she lived in Manibaog over there, and she worked on the Clark call center. I can't remember the name of the company, but I think she's working online from home right now, But yeah. Manibaog. She lived in
Manibaog.
You know what your ex is doing? You're about to get in trouble, man. Be careful. Your wife's gonna get you.
For YouTube, everything that's scandalous gives you more ratings, right?
I get it. I'm just messing with you, man.
It's okay.
Because if I said something about, I would be in so much trouble.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no.
I would say all my exes live in
I
Texas.
already messaged her.
I just only have one ex in Texas, in Abilene, Texas. She upgraded to a retired officer. So
I'm gonna get working on your photos, Mike. I was laughing. we're gonna put you as guest of the year, honorary guest,
Woohoo!
and I'm gonna generate an AI photo, and I'm not gonna let George handle the photos. Maybe I'll get cheap old George to upgrade.
Yeah. Thank you, Tess. Oh, by the way, Tess, you didn't respond when we showed up Mike's photos earlier.
I know,
Yeah,
Tess,
she
you're
might have been
dropping the
there.
ball.
Poor guy is being played.
How you doing, Mike? Early.
Hey, how
going
you
on,
guys
Mike?
doing?
Hey,
Oh,
Mike.
nothing much. I just wanted to let Mike know. I heard his thing the other day, and he was totally not out of line. He was speaking the truth. He has nothing to worry about. I've been in kind of like Billy. I've been in the correctional system for about 25 years on the good side, the outside, where I could go home at night. But he's acting like the guy acts like he's a cop. I really think those two are part of the Dumagetti gang that we're talking, Go and the other person. They're on defense right now. And biggest thing right now nobody's addressing is Mark's trying to start a fight between this guy and Jason. And the way he brings up the email every time, Jason did this, Jason did that. So most of the stuff is Mark's trying to take the heat off himself for the BS he pulled in Dumagetti itself. I love what you guys are doing. Keeps me up to date. So whenever I do go back over there, I do have uh, investments there that I don't have to worry about rent when I move there because it's taken care
Nice.
of. So um, that was one of the smart things I did while I was working. I finally retired. But no, you guys are doing great, George, Heidi. I love you guys, man.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
And you guys put out a lot of good information. It's not bad. Same with you, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I won't listen to you. That'd be like sitting there listening to that other guy, GD Mead, what his name was from Australia, being a racist the whole time with everybody online. So you guys don't do that. You keep it clean. You keep it straight. And I may make little troll comments because that's what it looks like, but I really think that's what they're doing is they're trying to take the heat off of Mark, and now that Mark got his buddy in the heat, and that's what's going on right now. Is Mark got his buddy in the heat by being online, and his daughter found it. Mike didn't go look her down, hunt her out.
Right.
So Mike, you had no answer. You didn't have to answer to that go. You should have dismissed her, go right away, and that other guy too. They had no business.
Thank you. I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry. Okay.
But just so you know,
Take
Mike.
care,
All
Mike.
right, take care, Mike.
But
And sometimes a little digging is needed. I'm sorry when I was asked directly, did they care if my family was contacted? Well, first off, it's even if they would even answer. I mean, it's kind of like the daughter is the one that actually reached out, as I'm to understand, to Mike. And sometimes it's needed. I mean, there is other people involved. It's a form of an investigation when you have that many viewers that are interested or in a concern situation, because it's not our topics or Mike's aren't always, to that point. So like I said, we did reach out to that British guy because he was on his way back and stuff, and there were other family members. He said a bunch of stuff. He was trying to get people to help him. He was all kinds of stuff happened with him. So yeah, of course I reached out. They were on his channel. And so, yeah, I clicked and messaged them and said, is there a place to stay for them? So I reached out to them. Now, I personally probably wouldn't have brought them on unless they actually said they wanted to leave a message for the dad or whatever. Or if the person says they don't mind that we actually release certain content, then yes, I'm going to put it out. Now, like I said, there's a lot of things that George doesn't agree. Like I said, we're still two different entities.
If it was all
what he says,
if it was all positive, it wouldn't generate controversy. If she came on and said, "Oh, our relationship's great and everything's kosher and fine," then it wouldn't be picked up on as much. But because it's negative or troubling, it's a difficult situation. that's where I think it generates a lot of controversy. So,
Well,
but
that, and there's a young
that's
girl
what the truth
involved.
is.
And there's a young girl involved. Now, will it actually change her life? Is it life changing, or, you know, maybe? I mean, maybe she'll find this information. She's been attached to everything. I'm sure she's seeing this stuff come into her stream, and I'm sure she actually watches like Mike's stuff. And so, you know, what she does with that information is kind of like up to her. But
We're
there is a
also
young
talking
girl
about
involved.
modest numbers. I mean, it's not like millions of people are watching this stuff. It's not like
Correct. That's
town.
another thing.
That's
another thing is, yeah, you're talking 2,000 views here, 2,000. It is not, we are all micro channels. Even I'll have to look up to see what micros qualified. But yeah, we're on the very lower tiers here in the Philippines for bloggers.
So did you say you worked as a corrections officer?
I worked with corrections. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. I worked as a corrections officer in Texas from 2008, 2009, almost 2 years.
I did 25 years here in Alaska. So.
Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I did that almost 2 years, but yeah, I couldn't.
You guys recommend it as a job. I've thought about making a career pivot if I can't get back into tech, and I've just been curious about it. My grandfather was in law enforcement, but he passed when I was young, so I never really got to learn about his experiences.
Well, it's you got to have you can't have a chip on your shoulder, because you're going to hear things, people are going to say things, even though it's not true, you know. It doesn't matter. They'll call you to the block. You have to sit in front of your boss, and my bosses had them sit in the room with me, you know, and I'm answering to my bosses about what they said, you know, but well, let me put it through this way, you know, and explain something that I didn't even do, you know, that I got pulled into it. So,
you know, working in corrections, sometimes it was harder just working with the other officers. And
that too, yeah, that too. They stab you right in the back. You know?
Yeah, it's either go along, get along to go along, or get along to go, whatever, you know. If you gotta stick with your own, you know. If you don't stick with them, then
yeah, I had an uncle in the U.S. He's FBI, or retired anyway, and then my cousin is a sheriff. One of my close friends, it's kind of weird. She went through police academy and everything, finished, graduated and everything. You know, the graduation ceremony, the unofficial graduation ceremony is when they shoot a taser at you, but and then they post it on social media, whatever. She passed and everything, and she backed out. She didn't do anything with it. It's weird. Like, she worked hard, saved enough money to pay for her own, police academy, and then she said, "You know what? I ain't going into law enforcement. No, thank you."
during corrections officer training, they have you use the pepper spray on each. They have to spray each other, and then you have to go through the. I can't remember the name of the stuff, the gas that they use at the prison. In case you ever have to use it, you have to experience that during training, and then every year you have to go through the same thing as long as qualifying on the AR-15 and shotgun and revolver, every year. So
especially when you're a PTO, you got to learn all that. Have all the, because you got to haul prisoners to court, or you take them, like sometimes from like here to Juneau to Anchorage, or Anchorage to Juneau. I'm up in Alaska.
It seems like part of what's affected it too is just the controversy. I don't want to dig into it too much, but it seems like in the past there was kind of mostly universal respect for law enforcement, for corrections professionals. But now, in recent years, it seems much more mixed, where some people are still quite supportive of people in these professions, but others are not. I know that when my grandfather became a police officer, it seemed fairly niche, but my mom and my aunt were like, "Oh no, our daddy's becoming a cop. We're gonna get picked on school." But it seems like that was more niche, where now it's like a 50-50 shot as to whether or not an individual respects law enforcement or respects the need for corrections professionals.
Yeah.
Kind of sad. Yeah, in the 70s and 80s, we had full respect. And the same with the military. But yeah, with the newer generations and social media and being able to see, kind of, if there's one bad seed, whether it's a cop or a guard, they link everybody to it. So
Yeah,
it's
it's just not.
sad.
Yeah, they don't take that one person. They class everybody. And
let me tell you a
that's
story.
wrong. There's a lot of other good people out there.
When I was on the way to work one time for my shift, I was in my gray uniform in Texas, and I stopped and got a coffee, and they go, "Oh yeah, we give free coffee to police." They go, "Oh, wait a minute, you're a corrections officer, you got to pay for that."
That's
Oh, snap.
But technically, the police are not supposed to accept
Yeah,
free things. It's,
yeah, it's true, but
it's
I don't
against
know.
the rules. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's and that's kind of from the jail and then into the halfway house situation where I was on the outside working that for another while too, and it's the same rules. You have to go by working in the prison too. You just cannot. Anything you do.
Are you in Alaska right now? Because you mentioned Juneau and
I'm in Alaska. Yeah, I'm in Alaska right now.
Are you in Anchorage or
Juneau?
Oh, Juneau. Okay, I was stationed up in Alaska from 94 to 97, I believe. I just went up there in February, but the roads were really icy there in Anchorage. Just for a week to show my wife what it was like.
The ice is nothing.
Yeah.
Drive it every day when we get it.
Yeah, it's okay.
We actually had a lot of snow this year. So.
I mean, it's cheaper to go in the winter. During the summer, it's almost like $300 to $400 a night for a hotel, and obviously, somebody to stay with or something. It's crazy.
And then we go to the grocery stores right now. Prices are just starting to go up.
Yeah, I haven't stayed in Juneau, but I was stationed there at Elmendorf. Like 3 years.
Believe it or not, things are cheaper in Anchorage than they are down here in a lot of ways because we're landlocked. Every tourist that comes here off the ship, oh, what a cute little island. No, you're on the mainland, but we're just landlocked. The only way out of Juneau is by sea or by airplane. That's the only two ways out of here.
Yeah, I noticed the prices in Walmart were a lot higher there compared to what it is here in Tucson, Arizona.
Well, we're taking over their show right now. I think we'll see what they have to say. You guys got anything to say there? George?
What's that?
You got anything to say, George? You didn't want to take over yourself.
Oh yeah. No, well, yeah, we're gonna say our goodbyes in a few, but just real quick about cops here in the Philippines. For those of you who are not aware, we had martial law before here in the Philippines not within a decade, within a quarter century. When we had martial law, we had these officers called PCs, which basically are police conscripts. What they are is I guess the equivalent would be like small town deputies where no training. They just like, you're a cop, you're a cop, you're a cop. Everybody's a cop kind of deal. And those are those existed, and then the government changed, and then they got rid of them. And then if by chance martial law occurs again, my theory is it's going to happen again. But the interesting thing, I'm not quite sure what the changes are in the West, because because of the new I put air quotes on woke culture. In last year in the police academy here in the Philippines, there's something called hazing in most establishment, which form of military type discipline.
We had that in the military.
Police, corrections. There's some form of hazing.
When you get promoted, they tap it on you, make sure it sticks.
Right.
Oh, man.
So right. The police chief slapped one of the cadets, but that cadet was one of these new again, not my words, I guess snowflake is the word they used on him. And he reported it. I guess he must know somebody big enough that the chief of police had to had to resign. I guess that's the newer generation now. Back then that's nothing. They beat you up and everything. Yeah. I mean, I
Well,
went in
that's
college.
So
Yeah,
you got to really be careful. Everything you do or say is it's just not like it was.
I was in the Longapo during the 80s. I remember most of that. I remember
yeah.
we were at the tail end of it. Yeah, I remember. Hurry, get
And
either get to the base or spend the night in the bar. That was one of the two things you had to do because you couldn't go out in public.
yeah, in the 80s, then yes, you most of the cops you've encountered then were police conscripts. They have no actual formal
Yeah.
training.
You
Most,
know,
I'm not saying
police.
all.
Is that like barangay police or?
No, no, no. They're actually cops. They're like NCOs. Like I said, the most thing I could think of are like informal deputies, where you just give you the badge and you just wear the uniform, and then you're a cop now. That's basically what they are.
Do they get the same pay or?
No, well, no, of course not. No.
They don't make very much here. Like the cop that was the one, what's he making? Less than 1,000 or less than probably what 15 a
Oh
day.
yeah, see, that's another example. Officer Yumel, or former Officer Yumel. This was recent. He's he got let go because he said something against his superior officer behind his back, and apparently somebody ratted him out, and then they just fired him.
And it's a low-paying job for the police officers here. It is in the U.S. too.
Oh, it is. My nephew's a officer over there in the Philippines.
You know what they say in the prison? Snitches get stitches.
There it is. Yeah.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to wrap
Yes,
this up
yeah.
because we're getting near the 4th hour and I got to feed me, feed him. Maybe we'll feed the animals. So
Thanks for
right.
allowing
we
me
gotta
on.
do some running. But
All right, see
thank
you
you
guys
for
later.
coming in,
Thanks so
Alex,
much.
Woody, Mike. Thank you, other Mike. Thank you to
Yeah.
Gogo Bobo. And I forgot what he called himself today, but he comes in on different
Dubby?
accounts. Well, I'm pretty sure that's who had sent our message, which is more than fine. So love you too.
Yeah.
So, and thank you to everybody that's
Thank
in
you.
here. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you guys aren't a member, consider becoming a membership. Helps pay for cat food and coffee funds and all that. And I told George we're going to open up a legal fund.
Right.
But anyways, more
Never heard.
protection and razor wire, I guess. Geez, send razor wire money for Christ's sake. So we appreciate you guys being in here and thank you so much. And
Yeah. Thanks so much. And yeah, next show would be
thank you to Auburn.
Spill the Tea
Spill the
Saturday.
Tea Saturday.
That's
I hope I
right.
got something. We might talk about the Beanie Bear collection. Jeez. So, all right. Thank you
Oh,
guys.
thanks.
God
Thanks,
bless to all
Relay.
of
Yeah.
our-
Police constabulary. Thank you.
And thank you so much, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care. Bye, guys. Thank you.